Greetings, tankers. Adam Snellgrove here with some high-caliber October news. Grab some tea and some pudding, and let's begin. First, remember that if you still haven't claimed the most generous gift in all of the game's 15 years of history, don't miss it. You still have time until update 2.0.1 release. The Watt Plus subscription recently got even more economic benefits, plus 3 manageable XP bonuses. And you can try it out for free. Anyone can get 30 days of Watt Plus, even if you've already used the trial period before. Tanks 2.0.1 brings long-awaited game events and a large-scale reworking of 4 maps: Erlenberg, Fjords, Highway and Overlord. On the last one, fighting has moved deep into the mainland. Looks like the Allies are pushing through. Remember that soon, right at the start of October, World of Tanks will have a temporary Battle Pass chapter with an Uber collaboration. Just the way you like it, steel, armor and guns. Double the guns. Meet the legendary Wolfenstein universe. Join the ranks of the Resistance to get unique rewards, including familiar characters. One-man army William Blazkowicz with a 0 perk and a voiceover by the original actor. Wilhelm Death's Head Strasser, also with a 0 perk and a voiceover by the original actor from the Wolfenstein games. It's no secret that Blazkowicz loves his guns. A two-fisted Hulk like him needs at least 2. German, heavy, dual-gunned. The premium E65 Zwilling tank in a unique 3D style with visual effects. This tank will be your trump card in the battle against the baddies. We'll also have bundles with other characters. Anya Oliva, who saved Blazkowicz's life, leader of the Resistance Caroline Becker, and Blazkowicz's arch-enemy Frau Engel. Good company for Wilhelm Strasser. Join the Resistance. Uber awards await. Next month in World of Tanks, our beloved girls return in their equally beloved Panzers. Yes, Ghouls and Panzer are back, this time with a brand new tank school that has never been in the game before. That means new vehicles and a new crew of brave tank girls. Which one, you ask? Beats me. See if you can guess the captain. Share your ideas in the comments. She will teach you that a battle must be fair. After all, this fundamental rule of sport is just as important in World of Tanks. So, we're looking forward to reinforcements from Girls and Panzer. Panzer 4! Onslaught season of the Zur Dragon is in full swing with the Ashbringer as this year's main reward. And so is the AMD Onslaught Legends Series Season 4 that will run throughout all of October with a mid-season break. Watch the best teams on the European server battle it out on the big stage. Maybe you can take a tip or two for your own battles in the ongoing Onslaught season and claim all of your Twitch drops for the OLS token store. This time you can even get a Tier 8 premium tank there. And of course, don't forget to help boost the prizes by purchasing the OLS bundles with 100% of the proceedings going towards the prize pool. But the events don't stop there. The second half of October sees the start of Babylon Forbidden Zone, where we'll return to the Mirny 13 universe. Gather a platoon with your friends, collect Miriam, and prepare for the new boss fights. You'll also find rewards from other dimensions, including a unique Tier 8 premium vehicle. And that's not the only activity we have lined up for Halloween. In honor of the spooky celebration, as well as Dia de los Muertos, expect surprises right at the end of October. A chain of missions with wickedly cool rewards. And of course, Twitch drops awaits. Just like last year, World of Tanks will take its place of honor at TwitchCon. From October 17th through October 19th, turn up to talk to the Wargaming team and World of Tanks streamers. Quickie Baby, Skill 4 LTU, Mouse Acrobat and Mayland. If you can't go, no worries. Every day we'll be running streams with succulent mystery drops. October 28th is Czechoslovak Independence Day. From October 27th through November 3rd, log into the game and complete missions to receive themed rewards. And to get even more rewards, watch selected streamers on Twitch. You can get personal reserves, emblems, inscriptions, and a unique 2D style with delicious buchty. It's time to broaden your horizon with a brand new World of Tanks game. No, not 3.0 just yet. This time, it's a card game. Yes, we're rolling out onto a tabletop battlefield. Well thought out rules, hundreds of familiar vehicles, and endless room for your tactical genius. World of Tanks the card game is an ace pick for both card sharks and deck guppies. I'm off to finish the missions for the Windhund. See you next month.
Frau Engel, allow me to introduce you to the culmination of our engineering, Goethe-Faust. Two guns operated independently for optimal firing rhythm, high output, high endurance, or for unleashing a salvo. Absolute and final. Armored for frontline combat with mobility that defies its mass.
Beautiful. I want to see it kill.
Fine. Watch. Control, this is Blastwitz. I've got their toy. Now tell me where to drive it.
Route southeast. Friendly pickup waiting at the shore.
Wait! Enemy armor inbound from the west.
You build it, I break it.
William, be careful. More tanks incoming.
Let's see what you got, sweetheart.
William, come in. William, please answer me.
They want a monster? Let's give them a nightmare.
That was just one battle. If you want to keep that tank, you'll have to fight through the rest.
What's up, tankers? Let's get our teeth into the best scouts and raiders on tracks, or wheels. That's right, light tanks. To get the most from these nippy little vehicles, you'll need to practice and to brush up on view range and concealment. Not long ago, we did some videos about those, so check them out if you need to. The links are in the description. Lights are often quick and tricky to spot.
This is the world's most advanced processor. In entertainment, its rendering speeds render other processors obsolete. Powers cloud services for billions. Helps change the course of climate change. And uses AI to accelerate disease detection and cures. We make the world's most advanced processors, but only with your vision can we advance the world. AMD. Together, we advance.
Onslaught Legends Series Season 4 is here. But Liberty finds Jockey, and Cat's Eye, the last one for his team, will not be able to pull the 1v3.
Onslaught Legends Series champions will be Cashback.
They do complete the Cinderella story.
Finds Akka and it's Twilight and Liberty left wondering because it's not going to be the Ukrainian team of Cashback. It's going to be W from the pits of hell coming through the lower bracket.
Akka blows up as well, and W completed 6-3 two times in a row. OLS champion. And I think North Mafia are on victory street here on Himmelsdorf. They completely rewrite the map and rewrite all of the scripts that everyone had. It's going to be them taking the finals in a 5-1 fashion.
Tune in to the action, September 30th through November 9th.
Hello gamers and welcome to the AMD Onslaught Legends Series Season 4. Together we advance gaming. Hi Phil, I see you've come in for Keyhand today.
Yeah, finally managed to get rid of him and we'll replace him with a latest model of our team later as well. Jokes aside, thanks for having me and welcome everyone to the stream. We had a bunch of really interesting days already. After a bit of a weekend situation for Hit and Run, losing on Tuesday, we are now on day 5 of the first phase. So we have 2 more matches left. And we have quite an interesting schedule today with 4 pretty exciting matches, especially after what happened on Tuesday where Yogurt was able to beat Cashback.
Yogurt beating Cashback was pretty good for the standings. We'll get into that later. What we're getting into right now is the prize pool, which you can still boost, of course, by getting the participating bundles. We'll get over that in a second as well. 43,000 almost currently in, and these bundles are available until the end of the first stage, if I'm not correct. Right?
Yeah, so with the first stage, obviously 2 teams will be eliminated and the bundles of those 2 teams will be taken out. That just makes sense, so nobody feels like they predicted for a team that can no longer achieve first or second place, which, as you can see here, thanks to AMD, will get the AMD Radeon RX 9070 XT. I actually bought exactly that model myself for my new PC as well, and I can only recommend it. But yeah, the bundles will be available until the start of the second phase for all the other 6 teams that are still in. So there's still plenty of time if you're not 100% sure which team will be the one that you want to support. Obviously, you also have the choice of picking your favorite 2 or even 3 teams, or all of them if you love all of the teams.
Yeah, then you're basically guaranteed to become an oracle, but you could also just go for the prediction. However, it is difficult this season to have a real understanding of what team is currently leading the pack, because the current standings show Weekend is first. Now, I don't think this is a team that too many predicted in their Oracle bundle so far to be the winner of the entire thing.
Yeah, and with that being said, the tokens obviously after a short break, we'll have today's stream, the weekend stream, and obviously Tuesday. There will be 2 weeks of a break until 28th, and the token store has plenty of stuff. Plenty of stuff available. I think External said he would recommend the Lanzensee, and I can definitely agree that we'll shortly get you an overview of what you can get. Otherwise, you can also check out the portal article, and there you go. You have the Lanzensee, and I think Kai mentioned it, the 140 3D style, definitely a very...
Does not come with the tank.
Yeah, it doesn't come with a tank, but the tank is definitely amazing in case you haven't unlocked it yet. It's definitely something you can opt for. But yeah, premium time or 2D customization is also great.
The surprising number one is Weekend. 4 playdays in. They have won all 4 of their matches, and the only reason that they don't have the perfect 12 points and a record of well, they lost 2 rounds, but it could have been a lot different, even because they kind of gave it away against Cashback. They could have had 12 points by now.
The Sand River round, I remember that one. That was a bit of a dramatic, over-eager play, first by the Batchat and then by the Light Tank, but I think they recovered quite well and definitely had a great showing. Now, for the schedule of today, we'll start immediately with a banger. 2 teams that I think ahead of the season everyone had high hopes for. And now they have shown a bit of weakness, both of them currently towards the middle of the standings with 2 and 2. Then Weekend, who has just, as you mentioned, performed super well against Hit with a 3-0 victory, and Yogurt with a big surprise victory over Cashback. Then we have the fight for, I guess, 7th place and tournament survival, Vortex versus Kirillo. Those teams definitely need points at the bottom of the standing. And Mafia versus Hit, I think that's an all-time classic Polish civil war. I took a look at the predictions, and from what I saw, we are not all on the same page when it comes to that. And I think that also indicates that we'll have close matches and hopefully great entertainment upcoming for everyone.
Yeah, after last week's streak of last Playdays streak of good predictions, Phil, I decided that now is my moment to really swing it out. But when I looked at it, I saw you followed my thought process in a lot of them, actually.
So I guess we are both the odd ones out. Are we then even odd ones out anymore if we are the trendsetters, maybe?
Not really, because usually we're pretty good at the predictions,
Yeah, actually I saw Morph wasn't doing too bad either. But so does Little. I mean, he has a KD ratio of nearly 2, even though they lost a bunch of rounds, 3.5k average damage. And he's also a player that can play a variety of tanks. We saw him in the STRV. He played Batchat. I think E4 is one of the tanks that kind of like everyone has to play here and there. But if a player doesn't have like a E50M Type 5 or BZ as their tank, a main tank indicated, that usually means that they are like a specialist that can definitely perform well on like the tanks that you have a smaller amount of it, but they are very important.
But Aspera ad Astra apparently is on the iron, which means through hardships to the stars. And hardship is what Cashback went through in their previous matchup against Yogurt, Phil. So now they should be reaching for the stars, hopefully, against this W team, 40 to 60% in favor of W. This is proving to be a very close match according to the community predictions as well. And really, either team on any given day could be taking this home, especially in a best-of-5 format where surprises can happen. Cashback banning Himmels, W banning Sun River. Morovanka coming out as the very first map between these two. Always very interesting. W used to set the meta on it, I think, in Season 2, when they were one of the first to bring, for example, Bliskavitsys into it and actually made it work as well. And if Morovanka isn't enough, we're going towards Pilsen. Now, Pilsen is the map we saw Cashback play previously against Yogurt as well. And they had a hit and miss performance. One round really good, the second one not so good. But W and Pilsen doesn't really ring a bell right now.
Yeah, and then we have a bunch of buns with Secret Line, Westfield, Cliff, and Ensk, and end up on Ghost Town for a potential tiebreaker. Well, you mentioned Cashback will be grasping for the stars, and for everyone that saw the amazing new jerseys of W, they definitely have 2 stars on their jersey, on their chest. So far, Cashback not able to manage to win in a final against W. Still, definitely a team that can perform very well, especially during the regular season. So I'm very excited that we are about to head into the first round. And the caster predictions, as we mentioned, are not all on the same page. I think Kai just switched his prediction. I swear he was predicting for W as well.
I mean, there's a edit log, no? On that we can check.
I'll do that. I'll do that. Yeah, so 3-1 for all of us, apparently, aside from the intern, who kind of has to take his loyalty with the former teammates. But he was also afraid of coming to cast this match because you would bully him. So maybe in the future.
Well, unbelievable.
But I have to say, like, I wouldn't be surprised if this goes to a tiebreaker.
No, it could very well happen. I just feel like Cashback might be eager and fired up from their, what I would say, crushing defeat against Yogurt, because that's a team you don't want to lose against, especially if you're Cashback. So I believe that for them, this is going to be a good match. And W so far this season hasn't been the world's greatest team either. Lineups number 1. Frugo and Itox BZs, Mentos IS7, W50M, a 140 and an RHM for W.
Yeah, so both teams with 1 light tank, and we see triple Vishkavitsa on the side of Cashback combined with 2 medium tanks. The 140 that we talked about earlier, very good inspiration tank, E50M for the added DPM, and the BZ75.
So, between these 2 teams, Phil, which lineup would you rather be playing?
I have to say I would pick W's lineup, just because I believe that Vishkavitsas have this issue sometimes of like really maneuvering in the later stages of the game. They're great if they can fight close combat, have the higher alpha and so on. But like on distance and so on, sure, you have the shell velocity, which is great. Both teams also getting the initial radio tower. Little Godtrack lost his repair kit, but makes it behind the building. And yeah, there the push is coming. Triple Bishkevitze into the cap circle, and Twilight picking up the second radio. I don't think there is a need to immediately use it because Clove just got decapped, but Frugo will take the other strike, so the cap should be safe for now.
There's 4 tanks on the cap right now.
Actually, Vladislav just decapped. Maybe he was afraid of getting striked.
They're going to try and push through against this lineup from W, going forward with these Bliskovitzes, but there is already a tank at A4. It's going to be Ios crossing over in the E50M. He does take
quite some damage, yeah.
Yeah, but he survives though, which will be a very hard tank to overcome. And W very much stacked up here around Mentos and Itox, and they're going to be pulling back as well. Mentos taking some damage though, really a lot of damage even by these Bliskovitzes, slightly too far forward, and ends up taking about 3 shots for it. And now we see the problem though. Ios in that E50M isn't spotted. Brainbreaker repushing Frugo, because look at Frugo's HP in the meantime, down towards 800 as well. And in the initial damage, for sure in the favor of Cashback, as Brainbreaker does bluff 1.
Yeah, so there's little in the backs which can potentially put Frugo to a one-shot for the BZ, but it looks like a little bit of a repush is coming in here. Nepal in his E50M together with Mentos and Itox have found a target. The Brishkevitsa of Aka goes down to 720. Frugo being picked up as the first kill, and now it's very important for the tanks in the middle on the 5-6 line to join the forces and stabilize the situation for Cashback, which have an HP and a gun advantage, but they have a couple of tanks that are a bit separated right now.
Aka falls and his Bliskovica tries to make it back, maybe even wanted to peek there, doesn't end up working out. Mindbreaker low as well, starting to get chipped by these E50Ms. Vladislav then gonna be pincered in as well, so Cashback needs to pull a number on the rest of the tanks in the meantime, as Liberty is getting pushed as well. That gunner, meaning that the reload is increased because the RHM has no dedicated loader, so that was a little bit unfortunate there for Liberty as well, that it ends up mattering. Klur for the dead commander, kind of in the same situation, but Ios and Itox quickly coming in, picking up targets, and now Vladislav in this Blitzka kind of left to his own devices, wants to pick up Nepal. Can he get it? No, he's not able to get it. Little in the meantime going very low as well, and now Cashback seeming to struggle with this gun disadvantage as Little's getting pushed by Squeezy, but Squeezy picks up one. He's going for another, and Brainbreaker with his BZ currently not too effective, probably out of boosters as well, and Vladislav is getting surrounded. Brainbreaker pops his booster, but Squeezy will simply push forward into Little, and even with that disadvantage that they had in the beginning of this matchup, with Frugo being low and Mentos taking a lot of damage, W's Crossfire just too strong to overcome.
Yeah, also good stuff by W, keeping all those guns alive. I mean, sure, one of the tanks was just finished, but taking a look at the other tanks, they're all pretty low, and for Briškevices in the enemy team, 3 of them with 800 alpha, those would all be one-shots.
Yeah. It's a very close win for W, and it's a good recovery from them as well. I mean, honestly, the amount of damage they took and Frugo going down, you would think, is this recoverable for W? But they do it. They keep a lot of the one-shots alive, good repushes onto the Bliskevitsas, find Aka, then find Liberty, and then Vladislav kind of surrounded. And then the rest of the team coming in from Cashback, but they didn't really catch anything at that point. You know, Squeezy doing a good job playing around, and then the crossfire from the one line coming in as well. So really good stuff there. And Ios, the tank at A4 coming top in damage as well. Nepal, pretty good for him as well. That's exactly what you want from the Z50Ms.
Yeah, and especially Ios, who had crossed and took some damage, stayed alive. You can see Frugo actually bounced quite some damage. That was maybe also why there was a bit of a hiccup in the middle. That's Itox, sorry. Frugo. Here, 1.3k damage blocked. That's a couple of shots that didn't penetrate him, and he bought some extra time. And then we mentioned it, the tanks were not quick enough to come back to the main fight. Vladislav still with good damage, but the moment the Inspire tank dies, I think you have a big disadvantage in the end.
Yeah. The Inspire of Little not doing as much as Squeezy, but a really good round from W, and you could see that due to this middle strike they tried to push out of it, but W had tanks in the right position. If Mentos was slightly further back, they wouldn't even have done the damage they did to him, and it would be really tough for Cashback to find anything.
Yeah, this could have definitely gone either way. It was at some point a gun and an HP advantage, but the position's definitely helping W, and the repush coming just in time to pick up the strugglers before Cashback was able to kind of like pull back all their forces. And first round for the defending champion. This is a best of 5, so 3 rounds are needed, and we'll have a second round of Murovanka, where Cashback will be starting from the north.
For our predictions, Phil, this is not very good though.
Yeah, I mean, first round, you know, don't be a first game Andy.
Yeah, but we need them to win 3 in a row now.
We'll see. We'll see. They can do it. They can do it. You know, if you stop believing after the first round, then your prediction is just standing there very shakily. So you need to, like, if you go the wrong way, then go the full way, full distance.
Okay. I believe. Let's see what comes out of this one, though. Normally, the cap that the Cashback tried is something you see more often from the north side than the south, though.
Yes, that's true. Interestingly enough as well, like in this first round, both teams were able to claim the radio tower immediately, like the communication center. From what I can see, if there's no further switching, W with the full BZ plus medium Inspire lineup, very interesting. No light tank. Yeah, actually 6 BZs. Cashback with a bit of a more well-rounded lineup, maybe, if I can say so. BZ, CS, triple E50M, a light tank, and the Centurion. So it will be critical for us to find out how much information can they get at the beginning, because the moment you see that it's that much pushing power coming on top of you, you definitely want to reposition your not so heavily armored vehicles.
Well, Liberty's holding the plane in the beginning. This happens quite often for that tank deciding and opting not to use it. Already some damage coming out towards Frugo. That's 2 shots, but him and Ios might
Nepal
just be
is
pushing
shielding.
past.
Nepal is shielding him. So he took a shot for Squeezy.
They didn't get it. He pushed him out.
And I think they decided to back off. A bit of damage coming in there. So the initial HP advantage of W down to roughly 1.5 thousand.
I think Nepal actually pushed out Squeezy.
In as well. Possible. And Squeezy took another shot. So the HPs are fairly even again now. A bit of damage taken by Aka in the middle as well. But the jig is up.
Jig is up. Aka has mini strike to decap it as well, and he's safe behind that rubble pile at the church. So Nepal not having a good time there in the BZ75 of himself. He was shielding Squeezy, but I think some slight miscommunication ended up pushing him out. And now there's crossfire from Twilight, from E1, finding shot after shot. And now W decides to pull the trigger because they know that Frugo and Isles are in real trouble in the middle of the map. They're going for Twilight in that E50M. There's a lot of damage about to come out on towards him, but then it's going to be stopping for a second because those BZs not really known for their big DPM. Squeezy, however, in that newly buffed 140 will be doing what he needs to get a bit mentals, picking it up, but in return, middle of the map being pushed by a BZ, by a CS, by an E50 as well, and Frugo and Ios already pretty low in their own BZs. Ios will try to boost away, but Brimmaker will always win this 1v1, normally speaking. And on 1-2 line, W not having much more successes. Aka in the meantime continuing down those buildings on towards the Strangler that was left behind, which is Nepal, and Itox making a slow march together with Mentals down one line. Strategy attempted, but dismantled rather effectively by Cashback in round number 2.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this lineup in terms of mobility when it comes to Murovanka. I understand that there's definitely a use case for this amount of HP combined with Alpha, but if you get spotted that early, then you risk basically having an enemy light tank that has free play, and if you don't find anything to push onto, then you might just end up forfeiting the round immediately. Because you saw that medium tanks were very well positioned to receive the push. Sure, they lose Twilight at the beginning, but the costs for it were immense.
I don't even know if taking the radio tower would have made the difference, to be honest. Would have given them the info, but Cashback was very well positioned to deal with this kind of aggression. And I think that Nepal, while trying to shield, maybe slightly touched Squeezy and pushed him a little bit backwards. And didn't end up taking the radio tower, no matter what it was, though taking it would have given them almost nothing.
Yeah, I mean, they knew about most of the tanks. Do you think it would have made a difference if they would have pushed onto the CS in the middle?
I don't know if they can push the CS, though. There was only two BZs going. They would need more tanks. If they went with 4, sure, it would be a great play. But with 2, I don't think they can kill the CS. Like, double BZ, that just doesn't have the DPM. They need 2 volleys to kill the CS, right? And there was Vladislav.
Maybe if they take Squeezy with them.
Yeah, they would need they would need more than the 2 that they had. If the 2 that they had now went for it, then all that would have happened is Vladislav and Brainbreaker would have done so much damage that the trade would not be worth it for W.
Yeah, I think Squeezy did what he could. He did 11 shots and penetrated all of them. But at this point in time, like the gun of the BZ75 is also not really meant to like snipe. You have the AP or the heat option, and heat and all the fences tends to just end up getting stuck somewhere. But yeah, Murovanka 1-1. I told you, just don't be too afraid of the first round. We are all back to our plan, and now we'll see a 2-0 on the next map, which is Pilsen, obviously, and Cashback will close that match out, or they will not, and then we'll end up on Ghost Town. I think very different approaches in the first Murovanka. I hope that we can see some cool innovation as well on Pilsen, even though I didn't like the BZ strat that we just saw.
Yeah, we saw Cashback playing towards Pilsen, which was very, very good for them against Yogurt, but Yogurt was playing without a light. W, not the kind of team to do that, I would say, on Pilsen. Between you and me, they have the light players for it, but so far pretty competitive match. However, round 1 Cashback could have won. Round 2 W
could have not won.
Yeah. Can't say that, can't say the same, at least.
I feel like Hit and Run sometimes does similar things where they pick a lineup that really wants to find something to push onto, and if they do, then they have like a big advantage, and even though you don't have a light in the end, you can just close it out by having more guns and more HP. But it's definitely coming as a risk. And I think we saw this on the Ghost Town round of Weekend versus Hit as well, where Hit kind of ended up pushing into nothingness, and then there was a lot of information for Weekend and not enough things to push onto.
It's one of those shots that
it felt very similar.
It's one of those shots that if it works, it is going to look fantastic because they're just going to roll over their opponent. And if it doesn't work, it's like, ooh.
Exactly. Okay, let's see how many Type 5s are we going to see. I actually see something else with the 5. I'm not sure if that will actually stay.
It might.
But yeah, there is the Concept 5. And maybe after a quick look at the lineup, you can explain the viewers what has changed. We have W with triple BZ, a 268, 2 E4s, and an EBR, Liberty in the RHM. We have a 430U combination of E50M, 140, and Concept 5 plus a BZ, and so a bit of everything. Let's talk about the Concept 5, Ducky.
Yeah, the Concept 5 actually underwent some pretty big changes in patch 2.0. To be exact, mainly the gun was touched upon. So, to go over it, they got extra HP by 100. Dispersion got buffed. The Alpha buff is the most significant one. On top of course, getting a premium APCR penetration buff as well. So, 30 Alpha, 100 HP, extra Dispersion, and 10 millimeters of extra pen make this a very, very competitive tank that rivals, or some might even say better gun than the Leo. You know what's also competitive? Killing Brainbreaker before he reaches the middle.
Yeah, he is down to a one-shot or a potential one strike. And as you can see, the strike icon is marked in white. White is the color of W in that case. And they will claim the strike. I'm pretty sure they will immediately make use of it. You can see Frugo is holding it for now. But definitely Brainbreaker would be a worthy target to just get rid of him there in the middle. Looks like Ayos took quite some damage as well, and there is a push coming. 3 tanks, the E50M, the RHM, and the Concept 5 approaching the H8 balcony positions, and Squeezy has to retreat.
Ayos will spot them out on the K-line. Frugo, Itox, and Nepal now on the cap, and Brainbreaker still alive in the center. Vladislav going to be leading the charge. Squeezy already hitting it on the first one, but takes a lot of damage in return for that, though. Vladislav will now get towards the building, and an E4 non-connection on the side is wonderful for Vladislav. Brainbreaker now falls. Evidently, that was bound to happen. Probably died to the strike, which they were holding onto. Vladislav will kill Squeezy, but it looks like Squeezy might just about do one more shot of damage to that 268 at DPM buff coming out strong as well. So one tank down for both teams. 5 seconds left on the cap now, but Twilight will be reaching this one on time. Little now taking over the strike in the middle, and we got a match on our hands. So far though, you can say that having an EBR basically dead is a bit worse for W than Cashback in return, but Cashback in return has Liberty, who's not on the most amount of HP himself.
Yeah, he just took a chunk of HP, but we have to keep in mind the 2 BZs driving around are out of game for now. Liberty taking another strike. No, a point of interest, but yeah, there is the strike onto Mentos. If Brainbreaker can pick him up, that would be amazing for Cashback. Now, 2 tanks advantage, but they're still down in HP. Frugo and Itox in the BZ75s, they really need to get into the game. Little takes a big hit by Frugo, tries to make it around the corner, makes it. He should be able to put in at least 1 shot, maybe even a second one, as he has activated the ability. Twilight fighting against 2 of the E4s. Little has the reload. No, he doesn't. Frugo picks him up, and with Twilight also on a 1-shot, this could be turned around for W.
In the meantime, what we missed though is Twilight pushing out of the cap a while ago already, and he caught Ayos on the retreat across the H-line. He actually found him for that and killed him. That EBR that has great impact in late game situations died to the Type 5 that pushed through the cap. So a great play there from Twilight at the end of his life, trying to do the max. A great strike from Liberty, picking up Frugo as well, making it 3-on-4 now in favor of Cashback. But yeah, Twilight, instead of getting flanked, pushed through the cap fill, went through the 3-line and found that EBR, and that is great game impact for a tank that is 9 out of 10 times dead in the water.
Excellent choice, and yeah, definitely good decision making. Aka just took a big chunk there by, I think, one of the E4s maybe through the
the one on the 3-line.
Yeah, I think Nepal might have just been able to shoot like through one of the windows, but he takes one in return. And Klurf is also spotted, so now it's one of those situations where mobile tanks will definitely have an advantage. Klurf trying to find an angle onto Aka. Itox also pushing out now. You can see the HPs are dropping, and it looks pretty good for a cashback at this point.
Itox switched to HE. He intuitioned HE. He wanted to pen Aka from behind with HE, but it's okay because Klurf comes in and kills off Aka. But nonetheless, 3-on-2 on this side of Cashback leading. Mindbreaker coming in with the Leopard, with the Concept 5, basically a Leopard competitor.
Fluffed his shot, but I don't think it will make a difference.
It will not. Liberty comes in and finishes it off. Yeah, the Concept 5, didn't think I would see it, but honestly, if you've never played that tank, guys, is it a great onslaught tank? Probably not. But is it a great random tank? Now, it's phenomenal. In terms of like gun performance, if you like the Leopard gun, you're going to love the Concept gun.
Yeah, one thing that I felt is that the tank is maybe just a bit too big for Onslaught. Because the stabilization... the stabilization buffs that basically every tank gets for Onslaught kind of helps you to hit the Concept on longer distances, even if it gets unspotted quickly. But yeah, 6k damage and 3 kills, you can see there was a bit of decap as well, provided from the strike. But good stuff here.
Actually... I mean, W basically killed the tank for free in the beginning. Sure, they did the same to IOS, but...
Yeah, I mean, Brainbreaker was just sent there. It's not really his fault, but you mentioned it. They did it very well at the beginning, picking up an advantage, and then they weren't really able to convert it because IOS lost a lot of HP. We saw at some point Liberty also dropping, but the RHM can take those 3 big hits and still be alive. It recently, I think, got 150 or 200 extra HP, so it's fairly decent in terms of survivability now, adding the 650 onslaught HPs as well. And Cashback is now up 2-1.
I never stop believing.
Just 1 round away from the stars that you mentioned, and our 2 points for the prediction. But it's not over yet. We saw a very convincing round 1 of Pilsen, but we'll play switched sides again, and we are about to load in already. Do you think they will come with another Concept 5 round, or was this more of a one-off strat?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I didn't. The advantage has of the Leo is, of course, the Alpha, right? Mm-hmm. But outside of that, you said it yourself. It's pretty easy to hit a Concept in comparison to a Leo, because the Concept always has like that cupola sticking out, right? It's pretty big. Well, the Leopard is a lot more streamlined, low profile when peaking, so more annoying to shoot at.
Mm-hmm. Also, I feel like if you compare general like strike tank options, there are just not that many with this high alpha. So you don't really want to pick like a K91 that has to trade against potentially like a Type or like an E4. And can't really DPM on this like shot-by-shot basis situation in Pilsen. I think it was a nice innovative idea, but if it will be like new meta to bring a tank like this, I doubt it. I think it's nice to have like a tank that can like add some firepower behind your light tank, but definitely also, I was about to say another tank could be like a 121B or an M60, and there it is. Aka with the M60, we'll have to see if that stays. I saw it in one of the OCS matches as well, pretty much played the same way. W again with the 268, they're bringing a lot of E4s, 5 E4s, a BZ75 and a 268. Cashback bringing double BZ, 3 E50Ms, the M60 and an E4. Which lineup do you prefer?
W's actually, I think, that because the E50s are really going to struggle with those overload of E4s, in my opinion, and then you have the double BZ in return as well that is going to struggle with this. This hit squad of E4s is really, really dangerous.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously the DPM of the E50s can be lowered just by pressing the defensive ability. Aka making it into the cap circle. For the people that are not very familiar with the M60, it has premium...
Look at the 50s, look at the 50s.
Ooh, they're not yet spotted. They might actually catch one of the E4s by surprise. Now they're spotted and they're immediately trying to swarm Itox. Itox puts in one Liberty bouncing. Vladislav not able to track the E4. The strike comes in, and with Liberty taking 2 more shots, one by Nepal and one by the other E4, that's a pretty decent start for W.
Yeah, I mean, Liberty dropped very low. Twilight now coming around as well. They really want to pick up this initial group of E4s. Frugo dropped towards 831. More tanks pushing through. Mindbreaker down towards a one-shot as well, but they're surviving for now. How much can those one-shot tanks really do for the side of Cashback? Liberty and Mindbreaker, how long can they stay alive? Because Itox and Frugo are dead. Can Cashback convert his gun advantage into more? They're also up at a lot of HP. Liberty now falling in his E50M. Mindbreaker as well, but IELTS in return not doing too well either in his respective E4. Aka with the finish on that E4 as well, and it's now 4 on 5, but Mentos is squeezing with all of the HP, and Nepal and Klurf are down towards basically one shot, and this push down the middle, the surprise from Cashback, the absolute read of the century so far is delivering. Mentos still has something to say about it, but I think he might be out of words pretty soon, as well as Cashback is up double the HP of W and double the amount of tanks as well. Straight down the middle, straight overmatch as well. And the one thing the E4 doesn't have is a great HP pool, and Cashback rock and roll 3 rounds in a row. And Phil, we were clairvoyant, never worried.
Never worried. Yeah, I mean, you can see it right now. The M60 is still nearly on full HP, even though he just missed his shot, which will definitely hold against him. He stayed alive. He provided the Inspire through the whole time.
This is true. This is true.
And yes, the E50s have a lot of DPM and you take them out. But if your Inspire tank stays untouched for the whole game, that's a lot of added DPM via just the Inspiration and the shortened reload as well.
Yeah, the Inspire is pretty potent. That's a good point. That's something that W didn't have. So you have E4s. And the power of the E4 is staying alive due to the Juggernaut ability. But neither Itox nor Frugo was really able to do that. They were cleaned up pretty effectively by the group of tanks from Cashback. And even with Mindbreaker and Liberty, even with Liberty's initial peak, he still does 2k. Right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he just stayed back for like 30 seconds or 20 seconds, made sure that the initial guns pointed there were not there. And then also important to notice is there is no short reload tank on the side of W. So if you see that,
one shots.
Yeah, if you see that there is a tank that is on like 200 HP, you're like, yeah, sure, we can have the 268 take care of it, and then it immediately gets a new reload. But if it doesn't, then you either have to wait like another 12, 13 seconds until the E4 is reloaded, and then you don't even have Inspire, right? So 3-1 is exactly what we predicted. I think Kai cheated a bit and copied our homework, but definitely the intern being, like, first of all biased towards his former team, and then even wrong. So I will send him to you after this match, and then he'll have some explanation to do.
On a good note, Moff also predicted W to win.
I mean, even better for us, right? Yeah. I mean, I think it was overall still a great match. I definitely appreciate the creativity. We saw 2 rounds.
They were spotted so late as well. Like, there was like a BZ going field that could even be completely unspotted going down the middle. But even the lowest players on the Cashback side, which was Liberty and Mindbreaker, who drove in first, end up doing as much as the 2 lowest on the W side.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
The Inspire was indeed great for that fight. And
I mean, Aka did 13 penetrating hits. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed the first match. We'll be back after a short replay break, and we'll have a banger of a match coming up for you. Weekend versus Yogurt just after the break.
AMD Onslaught Legends Series Season 4 has arrived. And with it comes the chance to reward the players and yourself too. Boost the prize pool by purchasing team bundles. If the team you rooted for with a bundle wins, so do you by being able to upgrade the included style to a shiny golden version. Contribute now.
Hello gamers, and welcome back once more to the AMD Onslaught Legends Series Season 4. We've kicked out Phil and we've gotten the initially best prediction master, but slowly dropping off though. Hi baby.
Hello Daki, thanks again for the kind introduction. And yeah, I remember my first game was a Ukrainian Classico, and this one is as well going to be another Ukrainian duel between Weekend and Yogurt. We've seen Weekend that have been performing very well. They started off with, 4 wins, strong. And they are going to face Yogurt, which is a team that they managed to surprise another Ukrainian giant, Cashback. And we will see if they can do the same today.
And more importantly, looking already in the future, because we can say Weekend, I don't know if it's a mathematical certainty, but I think so, already in stage 2 with their 11 points. However, they can already start looking beyond that. For Yogurt, not quite that. They did a good job by beating Cashback, but they need a lot more points still to feel comfortable in any situation. But for Weekend, this is looking towards stage 2 already, and especially towards those top 4 positions. Yeah, it's early to say such a thing, but at the same time, all the points they pick up now are going to be oh so precious when we come towards the end of stage 2. And all the other teams, the establishment, are probably looking at this and hoping that Yogurt ends up winning this.
Yeah, definitely. We see here the community prediction, 85% towards Weekend. They give a little bit to Yogurt. I think it's quite fair. We've seen a strong Weekend playing good World of Tanks, but Yogurt managed to surprise Cashback, and it seems that some people believe in them for this game.
For sure, they have a chance. They have a chance to beat Weekend. I can see here kind of extremely well performing so far this season.
Definitely. We see the KD as well of 19. Obviously, this is much easier when you play in a team that wins a lot. But yeah, and not only in his stats, we've seen this in-game as well, how he moves around the team. He's always there to connect with his heavy tanks. And
has he even died once?
I don't know. Like 19 KD is a lot.
I don't think you could reach this without not dying.
Maybe once?
Maybe once?
Probably.
I guess.
Going on to the maps, we see that Weekend has picked Himmelsdorf, and we saw that they had a great display on Himmels before. And Yogurt, on the other side, they picked Sand River. Interesting.
For sure, especially because we saw Weekend play Sand River already against Cashback, and it was solid. Right, it was very solid Sand River, except for that end of game euphoria. It's kind of the same as like in random onslaught. You see you're up like 3,000-4,000 HP, 2 guns. You're like, well, it's over, and then you kind of start driving in, and like 30 seconds later, you're like, guys, are we throwing? Yeah, we're throwing.
And that's when it's too late, right?
usually you're already like so far down the cliff that it's yeah.
Yeah. How do we expect Yogurt to approach this matchup? I mean, they are playing against Weekend that have been very strong. How do you think they can surprise this team?
By playing like they did against Cashback. Solid World of Tanks.
Yeah.
However, it depends really who's leading this matchup in terms of pace. Because we saw for Weekend, I feel like they do best when they're kind of leading the match and not like sitting back. And for Yogurt, it roughly looked like they preferred sitting back a bit more and being a bit slower than leading the pace.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if they it's hard to play against these very strong teams, right? Sometimes you just have, ideally, you set the pace and the other team needs to react, right? And yeah, I don't know. But we'll see how they can surprise them. I mean, Himmels is a map that offers you a lot of different plays. You can surprise other teams, and we see here the predictions. You went with a 3-2, expecting a closer game, as we saw last time.
It's just like maybe Weekend underestimating Yogurt a little bit, and Yogurt really believing, you know, that they can take points away from Weekend, because playing against Weekend is not as scary, probably still for them, as playing against a hit and run lineup, even though Weekend is top of the leaderboard.
Yeah, I think it's fair. I mean, no one really expected Weekend to perform this well until now, and like surely they will have to, you know, slip up at one point. I mean, so far they are 4-0. They are showing good games, but
it's the teams that you least expect then at that point that will take away from a side like Weekend, is what I'm expecting. Yogurt coming in though, 4 BZs, an Object 140 and double Blitzkowitz.
We see Weekend on the other side with double BZ, 1 E5. That was changed. 4 BZ, 1 Inspire Tank, 140, and double Bliska. Identical line.
Yeah, they're playing exactly the same. I feel like we're going to get a clash around the cap area, and if not cap, it's straight down the middle.
Yeah, I think the difference will be on which team can keep alive the guns, and luckily focusing the enemy out, you know, better focus fire, basically.
The Inspire staying alive is going to be very, very important for both of these, because they're going to need it for those low DPM BZs. They get a really big buff out of it, and you can see already Weekend in the beginning all towards the 3-line. Yogurt pressuring the middle a little bit as well, aiming with the BZs. Only one of the two connecting, Shelby and his comrade there stopping as well. But now Ramadik and Liquor crossing the middle and taking a lot of damage. They wanted to do the damage, but instead they're the ones that end up taking it. And a good adjustment already by the 140, going towards that 2-line strike. Liquor now getting faced with the problem that I said is in front of him. Aphrodite, however, star player for the side of Yogurt, coming behind, I said, might want to pressure this as well. But Liquor right now not having a good time either. So far, Weekend leading the pace in the cap as well. 140 versus 140, both hitting the Inspire. But how does Yogurt get out of this?
Yeah, we see Weekend pushing out, Clownzik and Evilok taking a few shots, and meanwhile I said pushing up behind Liquor, and it seems that they will possibly... Aphrodite joins as well. It is
so far looking rather good for Weekend. They pick up the second gun now as well of Ramadik, as there is a repush coming in through the middle of the map. The 140 leading the charge. Info picking out against Clownzik together with YOLO, but he seems to be tracked because of that Juggernaut ability, lowering his track HP to 1, so any shot will track it, getting tracked again. And Weekend initially with this pretty straightforward play towards the cap seem to have found an answer to Yogurt's initial. Yogurt stopping on the 5-line to give shots, but instead taking a fistful back in return, and then never really able to get any control over the matchup. And it's going to start off with a convincing Weekend win on round number 1 of Himmelsdorf. Simple little things at the end of the day, but so effective.
Yeah, we see here Kano finally getting into the fight. I mean, they're just gonna clean up the last tanks, and we saw that we had the initial cross of Yogurt, right? They did some shots on the crossing BZs of Weekend. And then we saw that it was Weekend making the play again with those double BZs crossing across the field, the center. And yeah, they managed to clean them up. And
this 5-line stop is interesting though. You stop at 2 BZs, one misses, the other one hits, and so you do 650, and in return you take 2.5k.
Yeah.
This is like a sign-up straight if I've ever seen it.
Yeah, I mean, it looked quite...
You see, he didn't deny that it was a sign-up straight.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was quite close, you know. In the beginning, they stopped. They did quite decent damage. But then we saw Kano, as you said. He took that second-line strike. They took control. And it felt like Yogurt really, you know, they couldn't really advance from that position, right?
HP was even, right, for a while, or close to each other, but positions, I think, was far, far back for Yogurt. You had that double BZ around the Zeppelin in the middle, stuck on the north side of it, unable to take the strike, which would mean that they can reset. By then, Weekend had transitioned into the cap already with 1 BZ, so cap pressure was on. Which means that they were also farming the guys at the Zeppelin, because the guy from the cap gets some shots, right? Well, the 140 was pushed up on the 2 line, had strike available as well if he wanted to. So what does Yogurt do from that point? You don't really have any more repush potential.
Yeah, as you said, they had already transitioned into cap, and it's like they have to make a move, right? Because their 2 BZs are gonna die over time. And yeah, looked solid overall from the side of Weekend. I'm curious to see if Yogurt, you know, they tried a fighting setup against Weekend. They saw that it didn't really work out.
But they didn't fight.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if they will just, you know, maybe get scared. You know, they couldn't fight, maybe even react. We might see some kind of different approach. I'm not sure. I think they wanted to fight. It's just that when the other team is 1 step in front of you and you have to react, that's when you lose these kind of games, right?
Mm-hmm. So that was round number 1. And I think Yogurt's on Himmels. If Weekend is forcing the fight, you can't really avoid it, because you saw what happens when you pick this lineup and you sit back. You need to have something going for you. If you don't have that, then, you know, then you're just going to end up losing out. And Yogurt not switching anything from their lineup. 4 BZs, 140, double Bliskovica. Weekend changing it up slightly though. Triple BZ, IS7, 140, and double E4 over that double Bliskovica they had before.
Yeah, we see a bit more of a conservative lineup. Maybe they will try to play a bit slower Weekend. They have an IS7, which, while being alone, the ability is quite good, I would say. And on top of that, they have the Inspire as well. And we see that Weekend are heading their way onto second, third line, and they will send Kano towards 7 line. Meanwhile, Yogurt are playing very aggressive towards the middle.
And in return, Weekend seems to be wanting to fight on the 3 line, though. They're going to continue boosting in towards that. Can they give some damage on the crossing here? They're going for a liquor once more. Some damage being dealt, and Weekend not receiving any. And 140 of Kano. We talked about it time and time again, how he's playing very well, immediately adjusting, backing up, pops the Inspire as well. But now, this time around, Yogurt maybe down in HP, but they have taken some potent positions at least.
Yeah, Yogurt making the play. They pushed off the 140, and we see YOLO has a very close position here to the cap, and they are keeping some kind of control over the D line, so YOLO doesn't get farmed from there. But we see Kano repressuring here. He puts a good shot into Shelby, and he's slowly making his way back up towards this banana position.
I think this great start of the season so far, it translates into a lot of confidence for the Object 140 player. He's making some repushes as well. He's toying around with Shelby, we could say that much, and Shelby has no answer to it. And the strike will come out. We'll do 800 towards I-Set and Clown 6, so that's a big one. But in return, Kano already dodging anything and everyone. Gets behind Shelby. Ooh, fluffs that one though. That will mean that Shelby will not get a shot, because Kano gets the kill and Aphrodite gets put it out, and that 140 a real menace for the side of Yogurt, as they're sending a second tank for him. When you were looking at the middle of the map, Sunshine also in a very potent position, that window that counters the courtyard, and when we look at it, it's already looking dire for Yogurt. 2 tanks down for 3000 HP, make that 4000 yet again down as well, and a torn in their side, the 140, and Weekend has come to play today.
Yeah, they have come to play today indeed, and it's looking very tough for Yogurt. Rachmeti goes down as well, and we see Aphrodite towards D-line, trying to cover Liquor, or I think he's still chasing Kano, because Kano has been absolutely toying with them this round, and yeah, looks tough.
I mean, if it's not going to be 3-2, I'm okay with 3-0 as well, you know?
Yeah, I mean, at least you hit the right team, right?
Exactly, it's something. But yeah, so far Weekend Not afraid of taking the fight. Yogurt going for the courtyard again, taking more damage. The 140 doesn't get caught. Shelby takes a lot of damage on the 7 lane. The 140 comes back. The 140 then kills Shelby. They got to send another tank for him that is just chasing. The 140 is running away. In the meantime, Sunshine takes the window position that counters the mid, even if it's a BZ. Right, it still counters the position that Yogurt had, but I think Trash Panda.
Yeah.
Or not Trash Panda, but I don't know who it was anymore. YOLO in the BZ, and it's just slowly falling apart again.
Yeah, and I know it's very early, Daki. We both know that these teams can surprise each other at any time, but I feel like Weekend could become a problem to the bigger teams. I mean,
Weekend is a problem to the bigger teams. If they win this 3-0, they'll be on 14 points. I'd have to look at Season 3, how much was the top 4. I will look that up in the meantime anyways.
Yeah. But we've seen that they are winning convincingly against even these, you know, mid-table teams.
So end of season 3, right?
Yeah.
Top 4, Mafia was 4th, and they had 23 points. Now, Weekend is on 11 after 4 play days, right?
Yeah.
And they're going to be on over halfway towards that already in phase 1. So they're going to be a problem for the top 4. They win one more match, they're almost guaranteed to be a problem for the top 4. Did Weekend play Vortex already?
I think they haven't. I don't think they did. You'll have to look that up.
I'm looking, no way. So, yeah, Weekend currently has 11 points. If they win this, stacking up a little more, they have played Vortex, actually. They 3-0'd them. Yeah, they 3-0'd Vortex. So,
they're missing W?
Yeah, they're missing W and Mafia.
So they still have 2 pretty strong games to play.
Yeah, for sure. It's not going to be that easy for them either. But at the same time, they're going to go into those matches with a lot of confidence, though. And maybe for them it was really good that they started off the season by playing against... their first match was Kirilo, and their second match was Vortex. They 3-0'd both of those. Probably picked up a ton of confidence coming into the season. Then they played Cashback already, like, you know, pretty confident in the season. Won this one as well. Now they got Yogurt. Then they got... then they got hit after beating Cashback, indeed. With a ton of confidence from beating Cashback. And super high in the standings already. And now they're playing against Yogurt. Then they can play kind of stress-free against Mafia and W. And let's put it this way, they are playing potentially a W team in a little bit of a crisis, depending on how they do against Yogurt. And at the same time, they might even play a Mafia team that is also not doing that great if Mafia ends up losing against Hit, you know, because next match for Weekend is Mafia. So Mafia could be coming off of a loss against Hit as well.
Yeah. I mean, they play very solid. They have Kano there on the 140, just, you know, toying around as we saw in the previous round. And it just feels like a team that plays together. They have a clear picture of what they want to do and how to react. And yeah, it's been showing in the standings so far. But we will have to wait and see because the game is not over. We will have Sand River and anything can happen in Onslaught. However, we both know, and the viewers at home as well, that Sand River is quite unbalanced if you look at it historically. So it's going to be very hard for Yogurt to make it out of this map.
Yeah, well, mainly the western side in OLS is considered more favored, which is funny. In 15v15 it's the east, so it's the far opposite. Yeah. Of course, there is a little bit of change, 7v7 versus 15v15, some positions are blocked off, but Weekend coming in to this matchup with a BZ, triple E50M, double BZ, triple E50M, Object 140, and an STRV.
And we see on the other side Yogurt with double BZ, double E50, double Inspire, and a light tank. They might be looking for a brawl with that double Inspire. The main idea is that it's very hard to focus one of them, and they can just keep snowballing and keep inspiring. But we will have to wait how that goes, because it's not easy to push on this map, I feel like.
And especially not into the SRV, right? The SRV playing and shooting usually plays mid-range, just enough to be despotted if you're going for that fight. And even if not despotted, you can't really focus him out because he's peeking in and out. But in the beginning, this looks very cashback-ish, if you think about it. Like BZ towards the cap, BZ towards the strike. But there is a fight from Yogurt erupting around this BZ position in the middle immediately. They're going for that Clownzik BZ75. A good push, potentially, on towards that position. They have the light tank, though, so even picking up one gun might not be the best for them. Clownzik rolling backwards, trying to extend his life. Like it. He will do a little bit more. And Invo taking a punishment as well. But now Clownzik in the dried out riverbed is going to be falling, and so Stang's coming back, but Invo is dead, tries to back off as well, but I said from the middle on that rock position where the artillery strike is. Clownzik even doing one more shot as well, and yeah, they get the pickup, but at what cost is it for this team of Yogurt? They're now hightailing it out of there, but they're leaving people behind as they go. It's the great escape, but not for the entire team. The 140 of Love gets left behind, and we can turn this around in a matter of seconds. Great positions to deal with this initial aggression.
Yeah, great positions indeed, and yeah, they just absolutely deny this push. As we said, very hard to push. We see Iced making his way towards Aphrodite. He might get the kill if he rolls. YOLO trying to... Iced makes a good shot. YOLO gets rammed. Kano meanwhile farming Liquor. And it looks like it is absolutely no chance for Yogurt.
Yeah, we can show up and say you might think that it's going to be a competitive match, but the only competition is going to be for the other teams to try and catch us as we're just hightailing it out of the #1 position and taking a lead. What a performance so far from Weekend into this season. 5-0. And in those 5 matches, only dropping 2 rounds against Cashback, of which 1 round they shouldn't even have dropped. So realistically, let's say they only should have dropped 1 round. That's a pretty impressive round difference, especially because you've got Hit and Run in there as well, which also got 3-0'd. So it's not like they're just 3-0ing bad teams. Scary for the other ones, 14 points for Weekend. Looking at stage 2, looking at that top 4, it's already going to be a worry for the other teams. They don't need that much points. Like, depending on how it goes, they don't need that much more points to like already put themselves into a somewhat safe range.
Yeah, and we've seen that. I don't know, like they are just. We've saw teams, you know, struggling against mid-tier, but Weekend are just absolutely destroying these mid-tier teams, and they are going forward with a lot of confidence, I can imagine, because they are playing good, they are playing well, they are playing together, and yeah.
Ice's revenge on the OLS.
Yeah, Ice's redemption.
The new Set Lord Rises, taking the Senate by storm. But that team is bonding together fantastic so far. Very, very good for them. 3-0 against Yogurt. Tremendous. And, you know, I know phase 2 is far away, but the worst thing that could happen for one of the participating teams in WCI, which is Hit and Run, Mafia, and W, is for one of those not to make it to the playoffs.
Yeah, I think you were talking about it with Kihan last time, that we have currently a lot of teams fighting for these top 4 spots, and it looks you have to perform, otherwise on the long run it's gonna look bad.
That is the case. That was a quick one. When we come back, we'll have some more bangers waiting and coming your way, but before that, let's take a quick look at some replays.
This is the world's most advanced processor. In entertainment, its rendering speeds render other processors obsolete. Powers cloud services for billions. Helps change the course of climate change. And uses AI to accelerate disease detection and cures. We make the world's most advanced processors, but only with your vision can we advance the world. AMD. Together, we advance.
Frau Enkel, allow me to introduce you to the culmination of our engineering, Götterfaust.
Beautiful. I want to see it kill.
Fine. Watch. Control, this is Blazkowicz. I've got their toy.
William, be careful. More tanks incoming.
You build it, I break it. They want a monster? Let's give them a nightmare.
That was just one battle. If you want to keep that tank, you'll have to fight through the rest.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the AMD OLS Legends Series Season 4 into match number 3 of the day. Phil Carrillo taking on Vortex.
Yeah, I mean, that was a quick one, the previous match, and now we're fighting for the bottom of the standings in the upcoming match between the 7th and 8th place, or in this case, shared last place. Both of the teams were able to put the first round victory into the records last week and got their first, their first bit of blood on their claws. So far, they still look fairly positive. Some of them a bit grim. The team lineup of Vortex, and I guess similar can be said about Carrillo. They had a bunch of rounds where it was pretty close, and they would have taken a round if there wouldn't have been a mistake here or there. But this time we'll definitely have one of those teams being a winner. We'll just have to figure out during the next 5 rounds who it will be. And if I remember correctly, we'll start off on Ensk, a map that we haven't seen yet today. And I think our predictions also were not all super aligned. Look in there, you can see if you're on the receiving end of defeats, KD ratios will never be high, but solid 3.3k damage and a good mix of tanks as well.
Yeah, he's only like 24.7 KD away from being at the same as Kano.
Yeah, predictions
50,
coming in
50.
50-50. And I guess there's just not much to say when both teams seem to be quite a bit below the other teams. So a bit unfortunate for some of the teams that end up at the bottom of the standings at the end of the season, because usually the amount of time invested and the amount of trainings played will not be representative of the results. But this is how the cookie crumbles. I mentioned already we'll start on Ensk as Cliff and Pilsen were banned, and then we'll continue on Westfield. Definitely 2 maps that we haven't seen that much or not at all today. Ghost Town, Muro, Siegfried Line and Himmelsdorf banned. Sand River, we just saw it would be the tiebreaker. How do you feel about Westfield? That's a map that was very popular during previous seasons, but recently has not been much in the trends.
It's interesting because you can still play it kind of slow as well. We saw W, I think, at some point, the first team to play like 2-3 lights on that as well and play for outside control together with the mini strikes to get those resets. That is still a possibility, but it's also a very quick brawly map. But it's like, it's hard, you know, because you can go for the brawl up, you can go for the brawl in the middle of the buildings, and you can go for the brawl around the ID strike. So, and of course those brawls can go anybody's way, so it's probably like a coin flip for a lot of teams where they're not confident that they're going to be able to win it, so they rather play something where they're like more secure into getting an advantage.
I don't hope that they will play what Hidden Run was playing. You might remember they played like triple Badger just playing the hold-on positions there, and it was a bit of resident sleeper. But as you know, when you have the bottom of the standings match, a lot of fans like that come to like those lower regional league events are just there for the good mood, for the good vibes, and maybe their favorite beverage. So I can recommend everyone the Onslaught mug, the one and only. You can get it in the eShop, definitely worth a recommendation, and then you can drink your favorite beverage while watching your favorite casters, even if it's maybe not your favorite teams. But if you're a fan of Vortex or Carrillo, we're about to start the first match, and you can be excited because definitely one of those teams will come up with a win today. Did you disinfect that mug,
by the way, before? Because Kian's been touching that mug for like 3 seasons straight.
I mean, we have a dishwasher here in the office, so...
Can talk about Kian that way. That's an HR. That goes going straight to HR, buddy.
Yep.
End's coming in though between these two. I mean, since Kian's not here, it's free to give shots at him. Yeah, I predicted for Vortex, but looking at the previous results for today, you know, maybe today was not my clairvoyant day either.
What do you mean? We had a perfect prediction in minute 1.
But then the second one was...
I think you went for a bit too optimistic after seeing the yogurt performance against Cashback.
Yeah, maybe it was just Cashback, you know?
No, I mean, Cashback definitely recovered from their loss earlier this week. We'll have to see if Weekend or Hit and Run, who are currently at the top of the table, will drop some more points. But the teams that are playing now definitely need those. 0 points for either of the teams, and I think what would be worse for them, or the worst possible outcome, would be if they split points today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I think Yogurt is sitting on 5 already, right?
Something like that, yeah.
They had a win against Kirillo, like 3-1 or something, or 3-0 actually, and then the 2-3 victory over Cashback, so 5 points for them.
So if they want to catch Yogurt, they need full points for both Carrillo and Vortex. And it starts here on Ensk. BZ, Type 5, 1-1B, Triple E4 for Carrillo, Vortex, BZ, Mouse, Type 140, and Triple E4.
Yeah, it looks like they just added a second BZ. But yeah, the Mouse, definitely one of the tanks that was very present during previous seasons. But with the popularity of the E4, I would say not necessarily the best tank to play against this American tank destroyers with high APCR penetration.
Yeah, the rise of the Type 5 is, of course, is also bringing down the amount of mouses you see. Simply, you know, Mouse just trading a little bit better with that Alpha. But initially, trades, no trading towards Vortex, but good damage from them onto these BZs in return. Attractive still gonna boost in towards the cap, but really good damage here from Vortex. I mean, look at that. Only Attractive taking some, but outside of that, they're really giving a good number towards Templeton.
5k HP advantage now.
Yeah,
6k.
This is the best start we've ever seen for Vortex, to be honest, outside of that Cliff game that they ended up losing. The strike gets taken, that does 800, but right now what we're watching is Carrillo marching into a almost certain death. Manera pushing forward, that's a good pressure point because Tankistador has overexposed. Adi coming to shield, but on top of that also makes Tankistador miss. So Tankistador giving something back towards Carrillo, but even with that mistake, it's still 5,000 HP lead for Vortex.
Yeah, Manera not looking too great as well. Adi just gave him one for a bit less alpha in return. First kill being picked up by Lucan. We mentioned him earlier. Now the KD will definitely see a bit of an up there. Adi should be able to pick up Manera. Flappy does it after Adi missed. And with 3k HP advantage and a gun extra, it doesn't look too bad for Vortex in this first round.
No, they start off with some really great damage that just snowballs for this cap, cap artillery strike attempt by the side of Carrillo. They do find Attractive, but at this point Vortex is so far ahead. They might just be chilling as well, knowing that they're currently leading the game, but at this point, the only way I think that they lose this game is by having their players get isolated one by one. It's time for the knockout punch.
Yeah, and now we can see a small disadvantage maybe on the side of Vortex is that all the tanks are kind of cramped into this what is it, like a refueling station or something like that, or just like the storage depot area, where the Type 5 and the Maus, especially because the tanks are so big, can really not maneuver that well. Loop has now taken a bit of distance, started the cap. I don't think the cap will be of any relevance anytime soon, but they also took a strike, so even though they're down a gun and a bunch of HP, it's not fully over yet.
No, especially when that strike hits home on 3 targets, minus 1.1. Ilias now going to be taking a lot of damage as well. In this 5,000 lead fill, there's 600 left.
Yep, and now you need to see Lukin. He had very important tasks, basically crossing there to prepare some attack onto Lup in the E4. Lup is very isolated, so if Lukin gets into the fight with him, he should definitely be able to overwhelm the E4. He seems to have bounced the first one, and Lup puts in one, uses the ability.
Ooh, second miss.
Ooh, now if Lup makes it around the building before
third miss.
Now the target selection is important, right? Like, do you shoot... Oh, well, you just bounce. Okay, well, in the meantime, there was a lot of trading also on Elias. 51 HP left. And keep in mind, the 1-to-1B Flash has 3,000 HP, completely out of the fight.
Yeah, he went to help Loop in the E4, but Loop bouncing sealed his fate as well. And Carrillo smartly adjusting according to that information, are pressuring those double E4s and kind of ignoring that 1-to-1B right now, as they, well, should in this moment in time. Adi not fluffing it, Miku giving a shot as well, but with Vortex winning this round, I would try to, or at least bring up again the point that this became awfully close.
Oof, I think Dopadipa could have done one more shot, but yeah, Flash now in a 1 versus 3. He definitely has shown in the past that he is a standout player, especially during previous Clan Showdown performances, but 1 versus 4 actually is something that I don't expect anyone to win.
No, it's a bit too much for a singular 1-to-1B. Lukin finishes the job. Vortex
to his name. I think that's probably as many as he got in total so far.
Probably, yeah. So good stuff here from Lukin, up in that KD reach a little bit. So great start by Vortex. Amazing initial damage, really good punish, good positions as well. But then they completely freeze, because I think they're scared of going for it. They're like, let's play it out slow. And this holding back moment gives Carrillo, which does a good job at recovering, time to slow down the game, and you just see those targets like starting to die for the side of Vortex, and it's worrying. It's really, really worrying.
Yeah, and I mean, we saw that there were like a couple of situations that were very close. Lukin bounced a bunch of shots onto the E4, and then the E4 ended up bouncing one as well, but this could have definitely gone either way in the later stages of the game. Flash maybe also with a bit of a positioning issue, kind of like too indecisive if he wants to help his teammate, then ends up being late, can't really punish. For the fact that he survived for that long and, I mean, only did 4,000 damage, there might be a bit of blame also to put on him, but in the end, every player had a couple of non-connections, a couple of bounces, so a close affair, and definitely not something that we should use to overreact and expect the final score already to be in favor of Vortex, but it's a good start.
It is a good start. They pick up the first round, and ideally they make it 2-0, Phil, and move on towards that match point quickly on Ensk. In a best of 5, it's possible for them to happen, but you know, their read in the beginning was very, very good. Their damage was very, very good. 2 tanks and 0 lane was also a good adjustment to this, so for this field pressure they had very good positions.
Yeah, but then in the middle part of the game, I have to say, it looked a bit scary for them, and it could have definitely swung the other way, especially with Elias dropping very low and a couple of extra kills being picked up here and there. And I saw how another team could definitely make a comeback there. If you play against a team that has a lot of focus and like the control and the micromanagement between the players, then a team like Mafia maybe, or a team like Weekend could have come back from that situation.
Oh yeah, with how close it was, for sure, for sure. Now, moving on to the second round. Do we think that Grillo has it in them to recover? Maybe a 2-0 for Vortex would be crazy, you know. Let's see.
Yeah, we are loading into the battle, and I think we can take a quick peek at the lineup already. They're still switching things around a bit, so I'll have to see if this is final. But I see a Foch B being picked on either side this time. A tank that has gotten a bit out of meta, but definitely still a good choice. Two of them actually on the side of Vortex, together with double E50M, a Bezier mouse, and an E4. Kirillo coming with a probably bit more standard lineup. They have a BZ, they have a Type 5, Flash in the Object 140. They have a Foch B, an E4, and 3 of those in total. How would you rate the 1-1B that Flash played the previous round versus a 140?
I mean, the 1-1B has that extra alpha, but 140 is a bit more versatile by the looks of things this season. I think both are very, very good, though, to be honest. It's like a trade-off against alpha versus versatility. I like both. I don't know. I like both of the tanks for Onslaught.
I feel like the 140 with added turret armor might be able to survive a bit longer if it plays like the G0 position, but as you can see, there is a fight about to start. The Foch Bs have triggered their abilities, and we're not looking at the green. We are fighting for the city.
Elias needs to back off now though in his Foch B. How much damage does he get while he's on ability or out of his ability? Manera now getting pushed on as well by Vortex, who are pushing towards the building, but right now they're in trouble because the double Foch B is currently not in the fight. They are reloading. The strike comes out as well. Can they find Manera though? Attractive pushing forward as well. Dopadipa just sitting and facing with maximum ability probably as well, but they will find Manera for the side of Kirillo. That BZ goes down. He does the strike, but now Vortex here fighting from this corner on towards these tanks, and their secret weapon, the Foch Bs, are about to come off reload as well. Flappy, he's literally 1 HP. Looking to do one more shot before he goes down. Milo now tries to ram. I think he got that one as well, so beautiful play from Milo, but for that ram he goes out the whole way and all the way back to the garage, as well as now we transition into a 5v5. Lukin also pretty low. Dopadipa coming back in as well, but his own Foch B, Ilias, getting blocked by Takistador once more, and Dopadipa finds the clip and return beast with the finish, and now 4-on-3 for the side of Kirillo. HP lead for the side of Vortex.
Yeah, and you can see Templeton was not able to put in another shot. Tankistador now reloading, and the 140 definitely has to pick up some damage. The 140 is on full HP, but now it's getting sandwiched there. You can see great play by the Foch B and the mouse. In football, there's this or even basketball and other sports, there's this playing without ball term, and that's definitely what he did here, making the best out of the reload period in which he can't actively contribute in terms of damage. And I think that's it. Vortex on 6k HP. I don't think there's a way to turn this around, especially not in a Foch B.
No, not in a Foch B. Dopadipa probably doing great amount of damage, but it's Vortex 2-0. After Enskmen, what a performance from them, picking up 2 rounds in a row. This one looked tough, because the Scap play didn't look that good, to be honest. But then they found Manera.
Yeah, and again, there was a bit of a focus fire issue, and that's sometimes something that can be kind of like blamed onto the fact that you have a lot of high alpha guns, and you don't really want to shoot someone with 100 HP or something if you have 750 alpha. Mayo did a good job. He kind of did like a double kill by first ramming and then taking the kill shot onto the other player. But you can see it's like 1500 damage plus 150 for the E50 kill. So in the end, I'm not sure if it was a matter of kind of overcommitting at the beginning and losing the BZ, which ended up doing quite unfortunate amount of damage in the end, or if it was just a matter of focus fire. But Vortex definitely up 2-0 now, so looking good for them.
They need to convert this now. 2-0 going into Westfield. One good brawl, Phil, and they're running home with this. And I may not have gotten the scoreline right, but at least I would have gotten the team then, you know?
Yeah, for sure. But definitely for Vortex, something that they have to keep concentrating, and because they will play another match, I think on the last play day against Yogurt, and they could still make it out of the dip, right? Like they could still make it into the top 6, and then you guarantee yourself a bunch of additional games. Talking about that next round, obviously, first of all on Westfield, and definitely also a different map compared to Ensk, which is very like close brawl map. On Westfield, you can play the long game as well.
You can, but it's not that simple though, Phil, to play the long game. It depends on how you want to play the long game. If you want to play the long game and force them towards the cap, then you're kind of forced to brawl. Unless you play with those sniper mediums and lights, which is a hard strategy to pull off, especially when you're down 2-0 for Carrillo. So if you're imagining that kind of fight, then Vortex could also just fight for those strikes and aim for the long game themselves, right?
I mean, we saw a bunch of Briškovices being played on this map, and I think with a buff of the E50M, it will also be very present here. And in the end, BZ is still a very good all-rounder, even though the tank does not do the greatest against all the fences in the middle area with a heated gun. But yeah, I think there's a variety of strategies that can be applied. Playing with a light tank, playing without a light tank. Even in EBR, we saw, I think it was Mentos doing a great job in the EBR on Westfield in one of the previous seasons. We are about to load into the battle, and do you think they will convert it to a 3-0, or is there a chance still?
No, I think Vortex has it in the bag. I've got the confidence now. I think they will go fight for the artillery strikes in the south and just run over Carrillo's broken morale.
Well, Carrillo has not yet given up. They're loading into the game, and from what I can see, they are coming in with the light tank. Let's take a look at the full rosters. An FVTD, I'm pretty sure that this was not meant to be. Flesh in the Centurion, kind of always playing the Inspire tank. This one has a bit more gun depression, definitely a good choice for Westfield. Triple BZ and triple Briškovice. No light tank now on either side. Tankistador in the IS-7, Lucan again the 140. Attractive picked a Badger. Definitely a good hull-down tank. Double Briškovice and double BZ for Vortex.
Carrillo in return, double Bliska, AX, and 4 BZs. So extra BZs there facing off against this lineup from Vortex. But Vortex is going up. And look in return though, it is Carrillo up as well. But Vortex will play the split. This is a hard split to play, Phil. We've seen this again. If Carrillo does a good quick reaction, they could break this open rather quickly.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of have the IS-7 fairly out of the game, at least in terms of like if you can contribute HPs yourself. But taking a look at the positioning of the tanks of Vortex, you can see they are not really engaging into the fight immediately. And because Miko decided to approach it from the field side, the city side, he will be the one that has immediate access to the RT strike if he wants to.
Flash will spot everything out. Ilias are taking a shot already. Miko taking a shot as well. Ilias taking some more. Popsy abilities takes some more down to half. Where is the strike for the side of Vortex? No, they're going to block it with a Badger, but so far Flash having a really good run against Ilias, dropping him to 1.2 HP. Only now does Lucan get in position to counter this, but the damage has been dealt in Tankistador. I think as the IS-7 taking the strike will get counteracted by Manera. Manera fluffs the shot, however, gives Tankistador the advantage, and then I think in terms of DPM, neither of the tanks is great, but the BZ fares off worse because Tankistador does have a Brothers in Armor billet, and Ilias taking another shot there in the Bliskovice, now down towards 600.
Yeah, looking at the HP, it's still fairly even, and now with Loop coming into the fight, Tankistador will also have to retreat from the RT strike. But he is in the fight, he will deal damage. The main question is how long can Flash survive, because in the north of the map you will see right now the BZ and the Brischkewitzer are closing in onto the Centurion.
Miku finds the kill and Vortex smell blood in the water. They haven't gotten anything all season, but in the match against Kirillo they're finally coming into their play, finding the first kill. Now Beast in trouble as well in the BZ-75, and it looks like Kirillo's odds for winning this match are currently melting like snow in the sun, as Floppy will find the kill. 2 tanks in the grave for Kirillo, double the HP from Vortex, and what was on paper a competitive match is a show reel, a highlight reel for Vortex, as they're going to wipe the floor with Kirillo 3 to absolutely nothing.
Yeah, and it wasn't even close. They were not able to protect their Inspire tank. They were not able to make a move on their aggression on the cap circle around D4. And very well-deserved prediction for you. 3-0 for Vortex, nearly hitting it on the mark, and very well-deserved points for Vortex as well.
Yeah, the only sad thing is Moff also predicted Vortex to win. You know, it could be better. 3-0. What a win for Vortex. And you talked about Yogurt having 5 points. Yeah, for Vortex, this win gives them 3 points. They're still playing against Yogurt at the end of the season. If Yogurt don't pick up any points between now and that, then Vortex could just sneak into that top 6 after all.
Yeah, I mean, there's only one match in between, and that's obviously the Sunday match. But I have to say, the moment I saw them driving into the Badger, I was already a bit skeptical. And yeah, Flash really not standing out in his Centurion. He did some good damage at the beginning, you mentioned it, but then he just got overpushed, and the Badger stayed alive. Elias, sure, he dropped, but 7 out of 7, nearly 5k damage, and just good stuff coming in from the team of Vortex. This one looked like the most convincing rounds of like the 3 rounds being played, but yeah, a bit of bounces here and there or missed shots when aggressing onto Tankistador in the IS-7. You can see 1450 block damage. Definitely did his share of damage, 3.5k in the IS-7. And Vortex, congratulations to the first points. Very convincing 3-0. And yeah, maybe they can still make it and get to the finish line of at least 6th place, because as I mentioned earlier, it grants you another 5 matches, and that's obviously for future seasons or potential relegation also a very good preparation.
It was a great round for Vortex, picking up 3 points. We have to see if they can sneak into the top 6, but after this match, we still have one beautiful match coming up. It is going to be Hit and Run against Mafia, but before that, let's look at a little bit of replays.
This is the world's most advanced processor. In entertainment, its rendering speeds render other processors obsolete. Powers cloud services for billions. Helps change the course of climate change. And uses AI to accelerate disease detection and cures. We make the world's most advanced processors, but only with your vision can we advance the world. AMD. Together, we advance.
The AMD Onslaught Legends series Season 4 has arrived. And with it comes the chance to reward the players and yourself too. Boost the prize pool by purchasing team bundles. If the team you rooted for with a bundle wins, so do you by being able to upgrade the included style to a shiny golden version. Contribute now.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the AMD Onslaught Legends Season 4. We are into the last match of the day, baby. Hit and Run taking on Mafia.
Yeah, huge match. We expect two Polish giants to have a great clash. And yeah, what do you think the outcome is going to be?
I think Hit and Run probably fired up from their defeat against Weekend, the crushing 3-0, and want to rectify that defeat quickly by rolling over Mafia.
Yeah, we see the lineup of Mafia here with Profus in the middle. Overall, two teams that, you know, have top of the top players, and I'm sure that we will hopefully see a great clash, because we've seen lately that some games that we expect to be close going into, you know, 3-0 stomps. But yeah, hopefully we'll see a good game here.
Yeah, it should be normally. These two historically have a lot of history against each other. They always end up being pretty closely matched, but Mafia, outside of, you know, a tournament here or there, they haven't really been able to win something super big, you know, like a WCI and also a Legends series. They'd love to pick up a big victory.
Yeah, we've seen them. I think they are a strong performer overall, but as you said, they haven't really, you know, gotten those huge titles. But I definitely think that a team like Mafia that have been, you know, playing together for a long time, they know each other well. I think they have the potential, why not, to go for these bigger titles. But of course, if they want to do that, they will have to perform against these big teams. And yeah, we see here the community prediction, very close, slightly towards Hit. What do you think about this, Taki?
I'm on board with this. I also voted Hit and Run. I just feel like they're going to be very fired up after their defeat that they had.
Yeah, I mean, it's not easy to lose 3-0, especially as, you know, Hit. They are a very, very good team that have won, you know, 2 WCIs. They have very good players, experienced players. They even added Barbarian, for example, from another big team. You know, it's not fun to lose, and it might be the case that they will do a massive comeback and bounce back. We see here the map picks. Mafia picking Himmelsdorf as their first pick, and Hit going for Muro.
What do we think about this first map? Himmelsdorf between Hit and Run versus Mafia. A potential for a lot of mind games as well.
Yeah, a lot of mind games. I mean, we saw in the Ukrainian derby that there weren't that many mind games, right? They just went full fighting setup. But I think Mafia is the kind of team, you know, to take it a bit slower. They like to play control, take it step by step. And from Hit, we can expect. I think we can expect a lot of new things, maybe things that we haven't seen. And yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting match on Himmels.
If one of the two teams is going to innovate, it will be Hit and Run. Usually, Mafia is more of the cool, calm, and collected. Nothing too crazy, nothing too fancy, but always consistent kind of gameplay. So That's why if something is going to, especially with adding Barbarian as well, I think they could add some of that even more spice to the lineup in terms of what they want to do. And Mafia will have to have good reactions because, like I said, they're not the kind of team to do those really risky plays.
Yeah, you're right. I would expect Mafia maybe even playing something around the hill with some kind of control. You know, as they did, I think they played against W on hill. We see here the predictions of the casters. You and Phil going for 3-1 to hit, and me and Kihan actually having the same score as well. Yeah, split decisions. We'll have to see how it goes.
Moff went hit and run as well, but in a tiebreaker.
All right. I mean, I think Moff had the same prediction as you last game as well, right?
Yeah, he also voted. He also voted for Kirillo. For Vortex, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, for Vortex, yeah.
We just thought it was. We just thought it was going to be a lot more competitive, you know.
Yeah. I definitely expect this game to be competitive. That's why I went with a tiebreaker. Obviously, you know, these predictions are just predictions. Any of the teams can win it. The games in Onslaught are always very close, and there are very small details that actually make the difference in some rounds.
The interesting part will be to see what Hit and Run decides to do more so than Mafia. Hit and Run, 50B, Quad, BZ, E50M, and an Object 140.
On the other side, we have Mafia with 3 BZs, 1 IS-7, 1 E50, 1 Inspire Tank, and Bliska. So it looks like Mafia are going to play something heavier. But yeah, might be a clash again. Seeing the lineups.
Yeah, I mean, Mafia cannot just, like, they have to pick a lineup that can fight, but I think it's unlikely that they're driving straight down the middle. But maybe they come out swinging and surprising. However, it doesn't sound too much like them. They're mainly orientating themselves towards the 3-line, kind of in the realms of expected hit and run. Looking more to go through the middle of the map.
Yeah, we see hit and run driving that double BZ. Plus another one through the middle of the map. They do stop with Tisek and Pan's Fury, and we see Franek starting to deal some damage in that 140.
And that's important because that 140 wants to get Inspire going. Profuse did find a shot as well, so both teams with the Inspire. Now Tisek and Panzer Fury are opting to come towards the 3-line as well. Yusek taking the cap, that's important because that's a very strong position for that IS-7.
Yeah, we will need to see how hit and run react. So far, no one has taken that 7-line strike. We see the E50M from the side of Mafia slowly advancing there. And I guess from now on, we'll see a bit of slower gameplay.
And the E50M from Kono is even starting to chip away at the back of Barbarian, at the back of Ketsa. But there is a rotation, Franek and DJ Barbarian. You can see that IS-7 just has such a strong position from that gap, peaks kind of hold down, and is able to find that BZ. Of course, the BZ, you know, turret, Yusek can hit the Scopolas, and he's looking for it. He wants to get it, but at the same time, he's respecting the possibility of a peak. But Barkis will join. Barbarian will almost be forced to get the reset here soon, and Barkis might even shield or block Barbarian if they feel like they could win out through that way. DJ now boosting towards Kono, but waiting for Franek. The reset comes out from Barbarian and the BZ from behind. Good shooting. Ketsai now boosting in towards the middle as well. Kono, in a little bit of no man's land, is going to try and do all of his damage on towards Franek because he realizes that he needs to do the best to his ability. The boost coming in from DJ, but doesn't want to push Franek out in the open from behind because there's going to be a Bliskavice waiting. Orchek, can he get the shot? Orchek not able to find it. Franek will finish the object, the E50M, but in return, Monster dead on the 1-2 line as well. Mafia lead the game by about 2000 HP, but Franek on a one-shot as well. The strike being taken, he's going to have to play extremely cautious.
Yeah, that looked a bit costly, right? That two-man push on Kono. Franek there being one-shot. He could play a bit slower. We see Barbarian getting peaked. He takes a lot of damage. He takes 1000 volley.
Bye, Franek.
And yeah, and we see that Mafia slowly but surely are winning in the HP department.
This round looking like a Mafia victory right now. They're transitioning back again on towards the cap. They have Yusek and Barkis in that circle, although one of them not currently capping. Barbarian in the middle of the map, getting pressured out as well. Orchak is in that window where we saw Sunshine play not too long ago, counteracting those tanks in the middle. Ketsai in a little bit of no man's land as well in his BZ, able to get peeked by Yusek, Barkis and Konrad. A 3-tap coming in, 1, 2. The third one not coming just yet. Yusek is not able to survive either, but it's still 4 on 5 for the side of Mafia with HP lead as well. Ketsai, does he get one more shot? Maybe, no. He was looking towards Rexar but couldn't get it with Tisek in the way, and because of that it's now 2 tanks for hit and run, and it will be Mafia coming in to the streets of Himmelsdorf, holding on. Good initial, get that cap going. Too much pressure for hit and run to handle.
Good pressure from Mafia, and they forced hit and run to make a move. We saw there the push, the double push on Kono. I'm not really sure about the, you know, the HP share there, because it seems that Franek just took all the shots and it was super costly. I mean, we talked about Inspire, how important it is in these longer fights, you know, and yeah, it looked very costly.
Yeah, DJ probably could have blocked the 50 before he decided to smash into Franek, but at the same time, really good move from Kono. Knows that his time is running out and decides to go for maximum effectiveness, which is pushing that object 140, and the fact he did that led to later on Profuse coming out and striking this 140.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised that teams, I mean, we've seen so far very cap-based fights, a lot of fighting around the cap. Teams like to play 3-line, and I'm looking forward to next round. Maybe we'll see something else, but for now we've seen that the most common thing is just to fight around this 3-line.
Yeah, and the size 7 comes in as well, handy for that cap because of, you know, that turret compared to the BZ. Is able to play pretty confidently on that cap as well, push away Barbarian, and it's also costly to reset for them.
Yeah, I mean, we see here Barbarian and Ketsai obviously doesn't mean too much, but they were last on the damage board. Obviously, in that game, you're a tank, you just go towards cap and try to trade to the maximum. But yeah, the IS-7, as you said, it's very comfy to play from 10-15 meters and just play against BZ Cupolas while they can just not pen you. And 1-0 to Mafia. Do you think it will bounce back?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why not, to be honest. I don't see why they wouldn't just trade this map 1-for-1. I think for Mafia it's important to stop hit and run early as well. They're really a team that thrives off of that rolling thunder.
Yeah, I mean, this run was quite close though, if you think about it. I think if the banana push would be slightly more...
My question is, why is Monster pushing up 1-2 line in the 50M? I know that they need to decap, but we didn't really see it. But at the same time as Kono
got picked off.
Same time as Kono dies in the 8 line, Monster dies on 1-2 line.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And we saw, I think it was for a bit on the screen on the bottom left corner.
He was in like a K1, K2 around there.
Yeah, he was quite aggressive, right?
I think he pushed up against the 140.
Yeah, I mean, as a player, for example, in Season 2 or in the seasons that I played, we have a very basic rule. If you're winning one side or you're making a play, you stop everywhere else. They knew that they would slowly kill Franek. I mean, not slowly. They would push him and kill him. And I'm not sure if it was really needed to push that aggressive.
No, they have the BZ second peak to reset though still. I mean, Barbarian was close, Ketsai was close, they had another BZ on the 3 line as well. I don't think you need to sacrifice on 1-2, but that was then, and this is now, as hit and run will bring 5 BZs, 1 IS-7, and 1 Object 140.
On the other side, we have Mafia with 4 E4s, a 140 to inspire the team, and double BZ. Bit of a control lineup from the side of Mafia. We have seen this before, getting matched up against the, 4 BZs that are pushing. And on paper, it looks like kind of a counter setup, but if the BZs play well, they could pick up guns, and it might be hard for Mafia to recover that.
This looking like a lot of pressure on the cap initially, like we saw with Mafia as well, with that IS-7. And Mafia kind of a similar split to hit and run, like sending a little bit of tanks left, right, everywhere. You can see Ketsai in the 140, taking one from Perfus. That's important because it means the Inspire is active. It can mean the difference between hitting an initial shot or not, and Barkis and Perfus do just that. They find Ketsai down to 2.2, good damage there as well. Strike being taken by Conrad initially is as well very important, something that Hit and Run did not have in their match.
Yeah, and we see Mafia getting good damage, Conrad taking back, and they actually reset the strike, so Conrad will not have the strike, and this means that they have no decaps.
Somebody will have to go in now to decap, and who will it be? Some resets coming out from YOLO, but he gets punished for that. Panzer Fury taking the strike in return, but getting reset by Perfus in the Object 140. 10 seconds left now. Conrad on the second attempt on that strike. I think this time around he might just be doing it safely. Franek peeking though. He does get the reset just in the nick of time on towards Conrad. So Franek crucially there resetting, and these peaks from Mafia, they're hurting. They will find against Ketsai some success, but it's still 10 seconds, and YOLO finds another reset from 1-2 line, but it's all so costly as now they start to slow march towards the cap with Rexar. Conrad will finally take the strike, and he will get it on time, put it down. Rexar finds a reset. That's a lot of strike damage coming in, but the result of this decap is a 4,000 lead for Hit and Run.
Yeah, they had to sacrifice a lot to get this these decaps, and it looks pretty tough in terms of HP. However, Hit and Run have a few tanks stuck, but I think it looks pretty bad. We see Monster making his way up behind Rexar. He's probably going to put a shot into him, and Yuzek taking another hit from Tisek. DJ getting flipped. We didn't see it on camera, but he gets flipped. Let's see. Barbarian manages to flip him back up, and Monster gets the kill on Yuzek. And yeah, it looks like Hit and Run are slowly picking up the guns. However, it's still close.
Yeah, this unflipping from DJ, he does one less shot of damage. Barbarian loses some time with it as well, who's pushing forward on towards Orchek. Monster now low as well. They forgot about that BZ around the cap circle. Monster is 665. He could die to the next shot, but he doesn't. He survives on 4. Orchek now getting pushed by Barbarian on the 2 line. However, we see that BZ from Hit and Run isolated as well, so he might be in a little bit of trouble. Orchek definitely going to get one more shot as well in that against that BZ with his E4. He will not die. Level 3 Juggernaut ability is a big reduction, but still, even with the flip, even with the good plays from Mafia, the initial lead generated by the need to decap seems to be too strong, but still, it's only 1k between these two. Barbarian still boosting forward, wants to get Barkis, but it will not happen. The strike not available for either team. Monster falling against Barkis. Tisek, however, picks up the pieces. Now it's YOLO and Perfus in a 3-on-2, and with Franek on 1.6, and going to pick off YOLO, it is not going to happen for Mafia. We will leave Himmelsdorf, even Stevens, 1-1.
Yeah, even Stevens indeed. We saw a very close game, but I feel like Mafia just traded too much HP to be able to get those resets. It's very costly, and it's very hard to come back against a team like Hit. We've seen in previous games how, big HP advantage can be thrown. But I feel like teams as Hit will. I mean, they did
their very best with DJ flipping over. They lost the BZ fully for that. Barbarian loses timing. They lose BZ of DJ, who would survive. He would just go simply inside of the courtyard. So it becomes really close because of that, but they still hold on just fine. So, either side doing what they're supposed to. Things to nitpick about: Ketsai sitting on the cap, facing off against E4s. IS-7, great turret, 375 pen, just a little bit greater though.
Yeah, and I think it would look very, very different if Mafia would be able to get that strike first timing, right? If Conrad wouldn't get decapped, I think we would look at a very different game, because they wouldn't have to trade as much. They would have the initial shots, the initial volleys, and they could slowly play from there. But yeah, good stuff from Hit to get the decap, and that puts the pressure onto Mafia, which had to trade a lot of HP in return.
But across the board, so hitting some good damage. And Profus in that 140, 5.7, doing what he's supposed to do. You see there the strugglers, you know, Ketsai and DJ. I think Ketsai could have survived. Never underestimate 375 millimeters of APCR pen on an E4.
Yeah, I think he could have survived as well. I mean, overall, the i7 is there to trade as good as possible. Some games it works, some it doesn't, but yeah, maybe it's easy to get a bit over-eager sometimes, you know, thinking that they will not be able to pen you because you're an i7, but in Onslaught, if you aim for the turret cheek, it's quite reliable to pen an i7. Anyways, as you said, 1-1, tied. We will have Murovanka as the next map, and we will expect a very close matchup on this map as well. I feel like Hit is more of a team that will probably look for pushes, look for pickups, and I would expect Mafia to try some kind of control on this map.
Yeah, that's what I'm expecting. Well, Hit and Run plays a little bit more aggressive. Mafia will play a little bit more control, but you know, sometimes Mafia does change it up and they go for something more unorthodox in their approach.
Yeah, you're actually right. Also, they know each other quite well, so we might see some different playstyles than usual. I think it's a good thing to have as a team, you know, to adapt to the enemy that you play against. And yeah, as you said, we might see some new stuff, something more unorthodox from the side of Mafia.
Let's see the lineups first. So both teams are capable of playing a lot of light tanks if they want to.
Yeah, for sure.
Although Hit and Run less since they lost Mentos, but then again, Mentos is not playing that much lights in W either, if at all.
Yeah, it's mainly Nepal, Klurf, Ios. Let's see the lineups.
Very similar.
Yeah, very similar. We might see some changes because it's very common. So far, nothing changed. And we see on the side of Hit and Run, double BZ, 1 IS7, 3 If50Ms, and 1 Inspire.
Mafia double BZ, 1 Inspire as well, triple 50M, CS63. So the only difference here is 1 extra heavy for Hit and Run, the choice of Inspire tank, and then that CS63 probably for the middle strike in the beginning.
Yeah, we see Profus there in the Hurricane, CS63, which will most likely, as you said, try to go for that middle strike. We see Hit and Run opening quite heavily towards middle. They have one more tank, both teams taking the info. This initial info is very important because it gives the necessary info to react. We see Profus making it into the strike first, and I'm not sure if DJ will dare to peek that.
What does Hit and Run do now? As a reaction to this, they're sending a second BZ. E50M getting peeled off towards 1-2 line. Katsa taking a shot as well. Monster finding one into the back of Yuzek. But so far, honestly, this is okay for either team. The big danger here for Mafia is the timer that I run, because Franek is kind of taking the East all by himself, all by his lonesome. And you can see, and we can see, no lightings available. It depends on how many things Hit and Run has spotted, but I think everything. So Franek has that strike for free.
Yeah, he should take it very slowly. Monster taking big hits, 1000 HP minus, and I want to see what reaction Hit will do, because Mafia have, you know, slow pressure on the cap. Franek didn't take the strike yet. He's slowly trying to find out more, and now he finally steps into the strike. And yeah.
He will start taking the strike. There's an E50M on the 5 line. It could be annoying, but so far he's not going out. And there's actually a blind reset on towards Franek, so really good shooting there from one of the players from Mafia. Gono finding a little bit on T-Sec as well, and currently Mafia up 4000 HP against this Hit and Run lineup. They are doing a good job at dealing the damage, but Frantic does pick up that strike though, and that one will hurt if they opt to use it on Yusek and Conrad. But the shooting is good though from the side of Mafia, constantly finding those connections.
Yeah, they are finding connections here and there. We saw Monster also trying to retaliate. He peeked on top, shooting these BZs. But so far, it looks like Mafia are slowly gaining advantage in HP. We see Profus taking the strike again. And we see that Orzech is actually rotating unspotted towards the field. And it's time for Frantic to run.
But look at the rotation from Hit and Run. It's Barbarian and Tisek coming closer. Frantic maybe baiting them in. There needs to be a reset coming out. Yusek gets spotted out. Monster gets the reset, so Frantic was going to be holding on to the strike. But here comes Barbarian in support of Frantic. And Tisek is close enough as well to make himself be known. Kono might spot out Barbarian in a second. He does now find both of these two players. He misses the shot as well. Orzech a little bit too far away. And this might be a mistake here for Mafia. Look where Orzech is. Look how far away he is currently from Kono.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see how they react on the one line, and they do react. Bark is pushing in towards Monster. Monster two-shottable. Meanwhile, Yusek and Conrad as well hunting Pan's Fury, and it looks like Mafia are finding something over here.
Yeah, they're going to find Ketsa, they're going to find Panzer Fury, they're going to find Monster as well, but they still need to make the kills though, because Monster left alive. Ketsa trading it out against Barkas. Rexar comes in and picks it up. Profus is going to die against the combination of the double BZ in the middle. Ketsa with one more shot available for him. He misses it on towards Barkas. People falling left, right, and everywhere. Ketsa down, Panzer Fury down, and Monster down. Now Orzech still in a little bit of no man's land in the AX, and that's the Inspired tank. We talked about that a few times. He's very, very important, but he's also very, very healthy.
Yeah, Orzech trying to make it out, and we saw that Mafia did find a few guns, and Kono managed to run away in time and buy a little bit of time for his team to pick up. And we see now Yusek establishing control over the strike, and Mafia should really calm down the game because they have advantage. They picked up one more gun as I was talking, and it looks like they should have it in the bag.
They will have it in the bag, but looks like Tisek taking a lot of damage at some point in that BZ towards the mid strike, and Hit and Run still have a lot of HP, but they needed Tisek to survive longer for that.
Yeah, Tisek taking there a lot of damage. We see Bark is...
That's a blind on towards Frantic?
Yeah, looks like a blind. Bark is picking up the info. They do have a strike. Let's see if Frantic goes down. Strike is played well. And he goes down.
Really good stuff. I think there was a blind from Orzech on towards Frantic, and then the kill with the strike. Just all in all done very, very well. And now DJ boosting across, Barbarian closing from the other angle, and Mafia looking to put match point on the board. And they will do it as well. They'll cap out, they'll win it out as well. Good reaction from them once they spotted the forest push, Hit and Run. Leaving that IS-7 up front, it has its usage, but I also see it gets quickly overpushed when needed.
Yeah, and we talked there about the rotation, right? We saw that Orzech was rotating towards field. We saw that Barbarian was slightly later, which could be the cause why it took them a bit longer to kill Kono. But yeah, overall it was, again, quite a close round, I would say. It's just that the IS-7 is very close. He's easier to pick up than Kono, for example, that has mobility and can kite away a little bit and buy time. And yeah, good stuff from Mafia.
It's really good for Mafia. Picking up 2-1. Quickly looking at the predictions that are still possible. You predicting Mafia, Keyhand predicting Mafia as well. So that's still a possibility in the future. Orzech surviving, very important as well. 4.6k damage, good stuff by him.
Yeah, very well played there by Orzech, and representing the Cent AX enjoyers, picking the Cent AX over the 140 and showing that Cent can still be played, my beloved Cent. On the other side, we see Barbarian staying alive, not having that much impact, as I said, slightly slow rotation, which is a bit annoying. It's not necessarily an individual play, but it's just, you know, just a bit too slow. And we saw there that the other flank fell much earlier than they could pick up Kono. I don't know, close game. I think that anything can really happen between these teams, and I'm looking forward to see how Hit will hopefully bounce back, right, for the neutral viewers, and we will have a good tiebreaker game.
This is, of course, what we're looking for, right? However, you know, this hit and run team, maybe not looking that impressive so far this season either.
Yeah, I mean,
they started off really good. Match day 1, let's see. Hit and Run played Yogurt match day 1, 3-0. They played W match day 2, 3-0. But I think we can also say that W is not on the greatest of forms themselves. Then they played Vortex. Then they lost against Weekend. So...
I mean, they dropped points against the first team, I guess. It's not that bad. But yeah, we see the games being close. This is what I meant when I talked about Weekend, right? They've played weaker teams in the beginning, but they have shown very good strength, very decisive games, and we see that good teams as Hit are struggling, you know, can drop a point here, can drop a point there. But yeah, let's see the lineups. Hit and Run with double BZ, 1i7, double E50, and they do actually pick an RHM for this game.
In return, Mafia also picking an RHM. So both teams double BZs, an Inspire tank, AX versus 140, double E50M, and then a Bliska versus an IS-7 being the only real difference.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna see duel of Ketsai and YOLO in the light tanks. I like that Bliska from the side of Mafia might be good if they manage to overpush a flank or find something. Has good alpha, good DPM. And we see there the RHM of Ketsai boosting Monster. YOLO meanwhile taking the info. Let's see if he manages to do so. He does take it, first timing, and he will get whole info of the team. And we will see Rexar and Yuzek at the same time. Taking their 2 shots is not that bad, and putting the initial cap pressure.
So Mafia again kind of leading the pace, which is very unorthodox in a matchup against Hit and Run. They are currently taking the strike on the east as well. Good shot from Perfus against DJ, good reset against Monster as well. That's the RHM coming in, and yet again it is Hit and Run bleeding. It's Hit and Run being punched by Mafia, by this team, and now you can see Hit and Run converging though. RHM, I7 moving towards the 1-2-3 line. Yuzek and Rex are about to be in a lot of pressure, but Mafia is ready and waiting. Really good damage on towards Tsek, minus 1.5k. He's getting clapped from the back as well, and I think now that Mafia come to realization Barbarian just wants to go in. He knows that they need to do something. DJ coming from the off angle as well. Barbarian's the first one in trouble though, down towards 676 HP. A good shield coming in from DJ. They need to keep him alive. Rexar is probably going to be the first one down. A shot from DJ should put him in, but Ketsa coming in with the light as well. 1 HP. Heals coming in as well. Rexar pushing forward. Yuzek now the next one to get focused out by Hit and Run, who smelled the overmatch. They find it as well, and Yuzek should have left this area quite a while ago. He tries it at the end, but that is little too late as Hit and Run smell that double BZ. They go for it as well. They pick them up. It's close still, but there's now isolated targets just like Hit and Run had on round number 1. Barkis gets rolled over, but the RHM from YOLO booking it out across the K line. It's only 500 HP difference, with Barbarian and Tsek rather low. Mafia's got something to play for, and YOLO could be a big thorn in the side.
Yeah, YOLO taking here the side flank. However, it looks very tough for Mafia to recover. Right, they have YOLO, they can still try to play, but Hit and Run have Ketsai that's full HP, and we see Conrad being slightly isolated, and he's gonna get picked off as well. Good reaction from Hit and Run.
Yeah, DJ in return taking a lot of damage as well though in that BZ. Some more damage coming out on towards the opposing tanks. It's still 1,000 lead for hit and run, but mainly that double gun, and YOLO getting spotted out now as well, taking a big shot from DJ. Strike being taken by Ketsai, Profuse needing to push in, and T-Sec re-establishing that crossfire angle on the one line. Hit and run are very good at closing out this endgame situation, and by the looks of things, this one will be no different. As Ketsai picks up the strike, he starts moving in closer as well, puts it on towards Orchek, who's down towards a one-shot, potentially for even a BZ. Franek moving in as well on that very healthy 140, and it will be a tie-breaker between these two.
Yeah, tiebreaker as expected. We all expected a close game. Good initial pressure from Mafia. We saw that they did have the combo of RHM and E50M to reset Monster and not allow them for, to pick up that strike. However, I feel like they got, a bit overeager. They knew that they would force Hit to make a repush because they cannot get the strike. And yeah, Hit. We saw Barik there taking the lead, taking the shots for the team, and they managed to pick up both of the BZs, and then they kept snowballing, and yeah.
Also, Yusek staying. I think they need to evacuate with the BZs or try to. He at the end he boosts away, but it's like little too late at that point. You need to buy some time for the 50M and the RHM to come into the fight. Barbarian was shielded well, which is good, but I think the BZs from Mafia, they could have, tried to extend their life. In a close game like this, 1 or 2 shots can make the difference.
Yeah, especially since they had a 2v1 in the middle, right? They know that Profuse together with, I guess it was another E50, they would win the middle. So if you boost away in time, it makes you even more valuable, right? Because you have cover from the middle. So yeah, I definitely agree with you. We see YOLO. I mean, it's hard as an RHM. It's not really your job to do damage either. We see Franek on top with 5,000 damage. The BZs, actually, Barbarian leading the charge. He managed to take the initial volley, doing good damage there. And yeah, good stuff. Good stuff from Hit.
Solid performance across the board. And the sort of tiebreaker, which will bring us on to perfect timing, Pilsen.
Interesting map, right? For a tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Especially between these two teams. I mean, we've seen that most of the teams, or I mean, a good part of the teams like to play City. But I feel like a team like Mafia will for sure play for Field. I'm not sure who picks side, but I don't know. Will be interesting to see.
Well, I guess Mafia. Wait, who would have the faster game? Would be one of the Himmels.
Could be. Not sure.
Himmels 1 was pretty fast.
Yeah. I think Himmels was quite fast, yeah. The Mafia win. We saw Mafia taking the first round on each map. We'll see if that pattern hopefully follows. So I hit my prediction right. But, yeah. It's gonna be
I hope
close
Hit
game.
wins. Moff has 3-2 win for Hit and Run. It's been a tough season of predicting for him again. A lot of red.
Yeah. Not as much as me, right? Or did I fall off?
You had a strong start. You had a strong start in the beginning. We need Phil to count the points to truly see where everybody's ranking right now. But those 3-0 predictions in the beginning put you up pretty high, and then play day after wasn't so shiny. The play day after was also not that shiny, but still okay. It's last play day that was a tough one.
I put a lot of trust into W so far. We see here the predictions again. I mean, you guys can still get 1 point, right? It's not bad.
Exactly. I mean, we'd make it 4 for 4 today.
Yeah, that would be good. I mean, It's definitely possible.
On Pilsen, do you feel like there's a side that has an advantage?
I feel like it depends a lot on what the team wants to play. I think for field, I don't know actually. I'm more interested about the fact to see if teams actually go for that field control. You know, because if you have field, you can slowly transition either on first or second timing. You can take the middle strike. And if you cover it with enough, you have double strike pressure. But if both teams go for it, we're going to see a clash on field. So, yeah.
Lineups though between Hit and Run and Mafia tiebreaker. Hit and Run, triple BZ, Type 5 heavy, Object 140 and a double E4.
And we see Mafia on the other side bringing double Type 5 heavy, quite heavy, with double BZ, double E50M and a 140. What lineup do you like more, Ducky?
Mafias.
I feel like Mafia have, you know, enough HP to anchor City, possibly. And the double E50s with double BZ can play together. And we see that both teams are actually opening towards field, right? They are actually Mafia bringing the double BZ towards middle. They will commit with both. And we see the same from the side of Hit and Run. E4s have more punch. Conrad taking a big hit. Monster as well. And Mafia will take the strike unless they get reset from the field. I think Conrad should be. Yeah, Conrad will get the strike. And I think those two types, Ducky, in the city will slowly take up ground. They have a lot of HP. And Hit and Run could be in trouble.
Conrad reversing a little bit too much, ends up getting shot by T-Sec as well. Monster giving a shot towards Yuzek, who's pushing past together with Barkis. Franek, Ketsa now taking strike and info of their own. Hit and Run still down in HP, but that's mainly due to the guns. The strike coming out, does it hit both? Yes, it will, so 800 extra. Conrad taking another shot though. Should be YOLO taking that one if you want to make this play, but he ends up taking it. They will both connect, so good shooting from YOLO and Conrad, big damage, but now you gotta be careful with Yuzek and Barkis because there's about to be a hit squad pulling up. It's the 140 and the double E4, and I don't think that Mafia is quite ready for this as Barkis takes 1.5k to the face, exactly as well. He will be pushed back, and Monster now coming out for the peak on the YOLO. Hit and Run starting to slowly edge themselves ahead and pushing back this double type, and there needs to be a Mafia reaction because Barkis is feeling the hurt. Minus 1.5k yet again. DJ does not miss this 375mm of APCR, does not care. Now Yuzek coming for the body block, but Barkis is already dead. I'm not sure if this is the move for Yuzek to try and keep him alive. Can Barkis find one more because of this? They gotta focus out one tank, preferably the 140, but they're unable to do so. Barkis dead, Yuzek soon to follow as well. Hit and Run come back into this tiebreaker, roll it over. Mafia's attempt at the cap, that E4 supported by the 140 just too much. They leave Ketsai by himself in the field, and the E50Ms of Rexar and Orchek with no real game impact sitting at that F line. What were they contributing?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I wanted to say. The double E50s not really contributing much. They are just anchoring there. You know, having lower alpha doesn't really give that much impact when you trade off your super heavies. And we see Hit and Run grabbing a very big HP lead. They are still even on guns. Not anymore. Barbarian picking a big gun there, and we see DJ leading the charge here and tanking the shots. Looks like Barik is gonna finish YOLO, and yeah, those E50Ms not really bringing any impact.
No, everybody from Hit and Run involved into the fight one way or another, while Orchek and his fellow E50M of Rexar are kind of just anchoring a position where they're not doing anything, where the fight is not around them, with them. Their Type 5s are getting repushed. They're still in the F line G-line waiting, and Profu's the last one standing, and hit and run, do a really good repush on the 3 line. Type 5 great tying, but double E4, they're not bouncing. Like, they shouldn't.
Yeah, the E4s against the Type, it just goes like knife through butter, right? And yeah, hit and run, bouncing back. We saw them going from 1-0 to 1-1, from 2-1 to 2-2, and they do take this tiebreaker. And good stuff from Hit.
And now we see the dying moments of this team, though, of Mafia. It is going to be a hit and run victory coming out as well. I think this is amazing by hit and run. The recovery to come back into this matchup was pretty strong from them.
Yeah, good stuff from Hit. And I think that Mafia had a good start. The good thing of their lineup was that they have that double E50, right? That has a lot of punch, a lot of opportunity to overpush something, and it just felt like they didn't really react, unfortunately.
Yeah, indeed. So when you have a hit and run lineup that involved all tanks into the fight versus having only 5, it makes a big difference, especially when it's the E50Ms that are supposed to deal the damage. They are supposed to be topping the scoreboards.
Yeah, and we see how Yuzik and Barkis both died with 1 shot of damage. I mean, maybe they could have done 2. We see 4-4-1. But it's just like they traded their HP for nothing. I mean, if the E50s are there with them, like on their sides and can repush, maybe it would have been better. Who knows? I mean, definitely, in my opinion. But yeah, we see here DJ and Pan's Fury putting up good damage. Ketsai 4K as well with the BZ. And overall, good performance from Hit. Pranik staying alive, 3K damage. Yeah, good tiebreaker win from the side of Hit.
Good recovery as well, 2-1 down, bringing it back 3-2. So mental strength there for hit and run coming in, recovering, really good stuff by them.
Shows good character as well to come back. It's not easy to be down every single map, and yeah, I felt like they played correct. In my opinion, Mafia. Obviously, after the game, it's very easy, but in my opinion, that double E50M really should have had more impact in this round.
Yeah, they just didn't put them in a position where the E50Ms could really thrive, and I think that's an oversight. But even then, the E50Ms at some point gotta react, you gotta do something, right?
Yeah, definitely. We see the standings here, and as we spoke earlier, Weekend topping off the charts, 5 wins, 0 losses. Can they keep it up? They have 2 very hard games coming up. And we see W and Mafia struggling a little bit. I mean, Mafia have 3 wins now. It's going to be interesting, the fight for top 4.
For sure. Especially because, you have 2 packs now, to be honest. Which is the middle group, right? And then you have, of course, the top and the bottom, which is W and Beacon, respectively. And then you see those little fights. Like right now, we have a fight for 6th. We're going to have a fight for 1st later on as well, but it's mainly 2 to 4 that's under contention. W needs 2 matches to jump over Mafia at the very least, and it's the same to overtake Weekend. So we do have a little bit of separation in the leaderboards between the teams.
Yeah, actually, I said W and Mafia. I don't know why I included Mafia there, but W and Yogurt are fighting for the 6th place, as you said. W with a bit of a slow start, right? They had a very important game. Obviously, it's phase 1. You get less points, but the game today against Cashback was quite an important one, I would say.
It's indeed important. So very good stuff by them as well. I don't think I want to give myself the shout out, baby, so I'm gonna let you do that, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's going to be interesting to see how the season, how the season advances. We have 2 more play days in the phase 1. After that, we'll have a 2-week break. And yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting to see. Guys, thank you all for watching. It's been a pleasure, Daki, again. We will finish off with some replays and have an awesome evening. Also, before we go, Daki going up next. I forgot, yeah, the drops. And yeah, you can continue your drops there, watching on Daki's channel. And as I said before, have a great evening. Thank you, Daki, for joining me. Have an awesome day, guys.
This is the world's most advanced processor. In entertainment, its rendering speeds render other processors obsolete. Powers cloud services for billions, helps change the course of climate change, and uses AI to accelerate disease detection and cures. We make the world's most advanced processors, but only with your vision can we advance the world. AMD, together we advance.